begun on the other front. Joining us today is the new Israeli ambassador to India, Reuven Azar. Ambassador, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you, we are a year into it, almost a year. When it began, Israel said that there were limited objectives that they wanted to complete. Do you believe that you've met all the objectives of the war that began almost a year back?
Well, thank you, Shavan, for this opportunity. We have achieved some of the objectives. We are not yet achieved all the objectives. I want to remind you that following this atrocious attack by Hamas, our cabinet said very clearly that we want to degrade completely the military capabilities of Hamas. We want to bring back our hostages, and we want to make sure that Hamas won't be able to launch such an attack again in the future. So we have been able to degrade substantially the capabilities of Hamas because we have destroyed multiple factories and stockpiles of missiles. These missiles are no longer a threat towards Israel. We've been able to dismantle regiments and battalions of Hamas terrorists. We have neutralized hundreds of kilometers of tunnels, and we brought back about 150 out of the 250 hostages that were taken by Hamas. So we are now in a tough point in which Hamas refuses to a deal that was offered by the United States and was approved by the UN Security Council, that was confirmed by the spokesperson of the White House. And they are refusing because they want to have the cake and eat it too. They want to keep the hostages. They want to remain in power in the Gaza Strip and be able to attack Israel. Again, we won't allow that. So we have to be persistent on our goals. Now, regarding the north, as you probably know, there was an unprovoked attack against Israel from Hezbollah on the 8th of October. And frankly, you know, our army wasn't big enough to deal with both threats simultaneously. And that's why we had to sustain our position in the north with limited retaliation until we had the energy and the capability to have put an effort, a serious effort that we are doing right now, not only to hurt the capabilities of Hezbollah to attack us, but mainly to implement UN Security Council Resolution 1701 that states very clearly that Hezbollah forces cannot be positioned on our border. They have to withdraw at least to the Litani River, which is a few kilometers to the north. So Hezbollah has been cheating throughout the years. They have been building this tremendous capability that has been supplied by the theocratic radical regime of Iran. And we are making it very clear that we want to bring our citizens back home to the north. We have evacuated about 70,000 people. They deserve to go back to their homes, and we are not going to allow them to go back unless Hezbollah is out of the border.
Ambassador, does Israel essentially believe that they have been able to neutralize Hamas, perhaps in a way that they would not be in a position to carry out any attacks, similar to what we saw on 7th of October?
Well, right now, this is indeed the situation. But, Shavan, what we have to make sure is that Hamas cannot regroup and rearm again. And that's why we have to maintain our presence in the Philadelphia corridor. That's the border between Gaza and the Sinai. So contraband of weapons cannot renew. We have to make sure that Hamas won't be able to rebuild all these weapons factories and get all these supplies that they used to get in the past. So, yes, we have done, I think, a very good job, but this is not the end of the story. We have to have our hostages back home.
There's been a great deal of criticism that Israel has also faced, particularly from your Western allies. Prime Minister here has also spoken about the fact that a resolution is only possible through dialogue and not on the battlefield. Ambassador, how do you really look at the end game vis-a-vis Gaza?
Well, you know, Shavan, throughout the last few decades, we have not only initiated dialogue, we have presented multiple peace proposals to our Palestinian neighbors. Not only that, we have completely withdrawn from the Gaza Strip in 2005. And these radical Islamists took over the Gaza Strip in 2007, they massacred their own people, the Fatah leaders and the Palestinian Authority people. They deported them from the Gaza Strip. And they have been attacking us since then. And we've been trying through multiple efforts to create a situation. And we thought that we will succeed in creating a situation in which Gaza decides to stay concentrated on their stability and prosperity. But unfortunately, what Hamas did is they hijacked the entire population, the entire international assistance, only to direct an attack against Israel because they want to destroy the state of Israel. And that is very important to understand. Right. So you can have dialogue with people that want to talk to you, but people that want only to destroy you, you have to destroy them. Because this is the only way in which you will be able to generate a leadership that is more pragmatic, that is more sensible, that is more realistic, and that can actually engage in a serious effort to make peace with the state of Israel.
But Ambassador, if I am to ask you, with regards to the vision that Israel has in terms of bringing peace in the region, what would that be? Because I believe militarily you all have tackled the situation. Politically, how do you take this forward? Because somewhere down the line, you too would want some sort of a solution, resolution to this entire problem. The fight, the war cannot go on.
Exactly. So, look, a prerequisite for political stability is security stability. You cannot have a situation in which you are constantly attacked and simultaneously achieve political stability. It's not going to happen. So we are having, not only in the Palestinian context, but in the general sense, in the region that we live in, we have a lack of political stability because there are radical forces that are working to destroy the state system and the stability in the region. That is coming mainly from Iran, that is sponsoring all these proxies in the region. They are proliferating very dangerous weapons of mass destruction and the technology to produce them to rogue elements like the Houthis in Yemen, like the militias in Iraq, like militias in Syria, like Hezbollah, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and more. So unless there is an effort by the international community to put pressure on Iran to change those policies.
So you're saying the focus right now essentially would only be on Iran because they are, after all, the ones who are backing the rebels. They are the ones who are basically destabilizing this situation.
They are not rebels. These people are terrorists, okay? And they are terrorizing not only the population of Israel. They have killed 500,000 Syrians, okay? They are oppressing their own people. This is the problem that we have. So, you know, unless there is a concerted effort to make the Iranian regime change its policies, it's going to be very hard for us. And we will have to use more military power in order to restore stability and peace. Now, the good news is that we have generated a lot of cooperation in the intelligence and security and operative sectors with pragmatic players in the region.
Like who?
Like, for example, the United States under the command of CENTCOM, like Jordan, Egypt, UAE, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, etc. So these countries are also concerned from the radical waves in the region, from Iran, from the Muslim Brotherhood, from Al-Qaeda, from ISIS, and they have an interest to create security coordination in order to confront these attacks, and we have seen that very clearly on the 13th of April when Iran launched an unprecedented barrage of drones, missiles, and ballistic missiles against Israel. We have been able to foil that not only thanks to our own capabilities, the great defense systems that our defense industry created, but also as a result of cooperation with other countries, other air forces from the region and from outside the region. So this building block of security, once it is established, will create political stability, and the combination of both will allow us to also create economic cooperation and prosperity.
Ambassador, I'm quite clear about what you're saying in terms of the military strategy dealing with the current situation. Politically, you're saying that can only happen when Iran basically backs off with the mindset that they have. New Delhi has always been advocating the two-state solution. Do you believe it's a pragmatic solution for Israel at this point in time, or you believe that this is going to take some more time?
Well, in order for it to be a pragmatic solution, it has to be a realistic solution. And there cannot be a realistic solution with creating a terror state controlled by Hamas, because then you will never have peace. So, first of all, we have to defeat the radicals. We have to encircle them. We have to create a solid coalition for pragmatism and peace. And then, of course, we can re-engage in negotiations that will bring to Palestinian self-rule. The Israelis want Palestinian self-rule, but only one that will not threaten the state of Israel. And we have proposed that many times in the past. We were rejected. In the year 2000, we proposed a very generous proposal to Arafat. He rejected and launched the Second Intifada, a wave of suicide bombers. Okay? We proposed that in 2007 and 2008. Okay? We proposed it during the Trump administration, together with the Abraham Accords. So Israel is no doubt a democracy that wants peace and stability. The question is how we are going to overcome the threat that is coming from aggressors, from people that are terrorists and do not respect humanity, do not respect international law, and abuse our norms in order to attack us, murder us, rape us. We have to defend ourselves from these people.
So, Ambassador, you are willing to be on the negotiating table and perhaps once again re-propose what you have done in the past through the Abraham Accord and the fact that there could be a regime change in the United States of America. So do you believe with the changes that are going to take place, perhaps Israel would be on board of coming back on the negotiating table, bringing them also on the negotiating table?
We are going to work with any American administration because America is our main ally and friend, and we enjoy vast support from the American people. I have no doubt that with any administration we will engage in trying to pursue our goals, our common goals, which are peace and prosperity. But you have to understand, we have to create a realistic path. You know, speaking about things and ideals is nice, it's beautiful. The question is, how do we achieve the goal realistically? And this is what we have to concentrate in. And you cannot achieve that goal with people that only want to murder you and want to completely derail stability in the region.
Who do you blame for derailing stability in the region?
Well, it's all, as I said, this axis of terror, this octopus that is actually led by the theocratic, radical Islamistic regime in Iran. They have been, in the last 20, 30 years, and especially since 2010, when the Arab world basically collapsed, the Arab system collapsed, they've been entering into the vacuum and actually helping all those rogue elements, all these terrorist organizations. They have been training them, they've been supplying them with weapons, they've been financing them, okay? And their aim is not only to attack the state of Israel. They want to take over the Middle East. They want to be the hegemonic power. They want to fight our democratic values. This is very dangerous, and actually they've been proliferating these weapons even outside the region. Look what's happening now in Ukraine. You have Iranian drones that are falling on European soil. Now, we've been talking with our European friends for the last 20 years, and we warned them against this threat coming from Iran. Right. Unfortunately, not enough pressure was put on Iran to change its policies, and it's about time that this happens.
Ambassador, with your permission, I would like to tell our viewers that perhaps the best person right now to talk about the opening up a new front is you, as someone who served in that very area, who understands the challenges that perhaps Israel faces from the northern side. Opening up a new front brings up a new set of challenges. We saw the strikes that were carried out. There too, you faced another set of criticism by saying that civilians have died. Over 500 people have been killed in the strikes that have been carried out. Israel says that we follow the rules of war. In terms of the fact that Hezbollah is not the Hamas, the fact that for the last 18 years Hezbollah has been planning this, and the fact that in their charter, the only single point agenda is destruction of Israel. How do you really think that you will be able to meet any of your objectives of perhaps crippling the entire military infrastructure of Hezbollah?
Well, we've been preparing for this threat because, Shavan, we take the statements of our enemies very seriously. And therefore, we've been meticulously gathering intelligence regarding all these houses, civilian homes, in which Hezbollah has been hiding and concealing illegally and immorally their missiles. And we targeted in the last 48 hours more than 1,700 military targets in those villages. But before we did that, we sent warnings to the population, including to those who agreed or didn't agree to host these missiles in their homes. Please leave as soon as possible. From the Prime Minister himself to all the bodies of the army, we sent messages, telephone calls, flyers. We burst into their radio systems only to warn them to go out of harm's way, because the last thing we want to do is to cause death of uninvolved civilians. And thanks to our effort, the number of civilians, tragic as they are, is relatively low, not only to the number of targets that we have targeted, but to the threat that those missiles would have put on Israeli civilians. Because remember, Hamas is committing a double war crime. They are both concealing their missiles in civilian infrastructure, and they are also firing indiscriminately at our citizens in Israel. So we have capabilities. We have shown that in the last few weeks.
But how is it different? 2006, it ended up in a stalemate. In the 80s, we have tried this. It is not an easy target for you. So how is 2024 any different than 2006?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, in 2006, if you remember correctly, we did a limited military operation, but it ended with the UN Security Council Resolution 1701. Now, the challenge has been to implement that resolution.
It's a violation from their side.
Right. So they've been infiltrating southern Lebanon and doing all these war crimes, creating a force that would be ready to invade the state of Israel. We just made a strike a few days back, and we wiped off the entire commanding elite of the Radwan forces. That's a force of 15,000 warriors that were ready to invade the state of Israel.
So you've eliminated them?
We eliminated their elite force, okay? So we have the capabilities to defend ourselves. We are very confident that we can achieve our goals, and we want an outcome that will ensure that UN Security Council Resolution 1701 can be implemented. We are not interfering in the politics of Lebanon. Okay. We just want peace on our border. We deserve that. We are entitled to defend ourselves according to international law, and this is exactly what we are doing.
If you had to list out exactly 3 objectives of opening up the northern front, what would that be? One, as I understand, the elimination of the military leadership. What are the other 2? Because in the past we have seen your tanks had rolled in. Are you also once again thinking of a ground invasion?
Well, we don't want to actually have any more military operations. We would agree to stop the war right now. You know, we've been trying for the last 11 months since
they will not stop fighting
started fire. We've been trying.
They would not
with
stop.
Our American friends to create a situation in which we have a diplomatic outcome. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and we couldn't allow 70,000 of our people to go back to their homes. So we are very clear. We are going to escalate until we reach an agreement to implement Security Council Resolution 1701. And what that might include is up to our cabinet and our defense forces to plan and decide.
Your defense minister, when he made a statement yesterday, he was elated about the fact that this is perhaps a master stroke, many would say. Do you believe that it is still going to see some resistance, some more challenges, because Hezbollah is not going to stop? Let's be very clear that that is exactly why they are in the first place. So what do you really do about it? Would the military infrastructure being crippled, would that be enough, or there is something more to it?
Well, Shavan, we will never surrender to terrorists, okay? So terrorists, they have the advantage, sort of advantage, of not only breaking any rule in the book of humanity, but also that they are willing to sacrifice their own people and the land they are living in for the sake of their cause. Right. But that is not going to bring us to surrender. We will going to continue doing what we're doing. And I remind you, at the end of the day, in 2006, we reached a resolution. We reached a situation in which we had a political settlement. Okay? It wasn't peace. We didn't sign peace with Lebanon. We would like to sign peace with Lebanon. But right now, our aspiration is just to restore stability to the border. And this is not actually something that is either illegitimate or is impossible to achieve. We believe that it is possible to achieve, and we are going to employ military pressure, and we are urging all our friends to put pressure on the Lebanese government, on the Iranians, and indirectly on Hezbollah itself to stop this aggression.
How big is this a threat? Some reports suggest the missile stockpile that they have over the last few years is difficult to even describe. Ambassador, I want you to just help our viewers understand why this is emerging to be yet another big threat, not only for Israel, for the entire region.
Well, you know, what we saw in the past is that you would have either conventional wars between armies of states when there is conflict, or that you have terrorists that are attacking countries. Okay? What we have now in the Middle East is terrorist organizations that actually possess technologies and capabilities that actually supersede the capabilities of conventional armies. And this is why it's so challenging. You have, for example, accurate missiles that are challenging our defense systems. Now, Israel has developed the best anti-missile defense systems in the world that are foiling about 95% of the missiles that are being fired at Israel. But still, when you develop accurate missiles, you can create a situation in which these systems are challenged and sometimes fail, because accurate missiles can, when are fired simultaneously, can cause a lot of damage. So Israel has been trying since the beginning of this initiative in the last week to degrade the stockpiles of Hezbollah missiles. And we have hit, according to estimations, thousands or even tens of thousands of missiles. Now, the stockpile of Hezbollah before the war is estimated between 150 and 200,000 missiles. So they still have capability. This is an ongoing effort. We'll have to continue inflicting damage. We'll have to continue to put pressure until they agree to restore stability according UN Security Council resolutions.
Ambassador, one final question that I want to take from you is with regards to India's role in this. You've already seen the kind of statements that the Prime Minister has made, India's action in the United Nations in terms of the abstention from the resolution that was being passed. Do you believe that India can play a much more bigger role in trying to diffuse the situation, or perhaps act as a peacemaker? Is that what Israel wants, or would you just simply say that let India decide what they want to?
Well, first of all, we are grateful for the position of the Indian government and their support, their condemnation of the atrocious attack on the 7th of October, and their support for our right of self-defense. We also appreciate the positive role of India in the international arena in general, and specifically in the last week, the fact that they didn't support this outrageous resolution that you have in the UN, an organization that is completely rigged by countries that are, interested in their own interests, but not in peace and stability. And they are willing to support all kinds of distorted resolutions that delegitimize the state of Israel. So the fact that India has refrained from supporting such a resolution is very important to us, and we are grateful for that. Now, according to, we are going to have to see what India is interested in doing. At the end of the day, we have a very good dialogue between our governments, between our prime ministers. They speak from time to time. And if there is an initiative to have any kind of involvement, it is going to be discussed in close quarters.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador, for speaking to Republic TV. This, after all, is your first interview with us. We wish you all the very best as you start a stint here in India. And thank you very much for being extremely candid on various issues. That was the Ambassador speaking largely about the objectives that have been met so far and why exactly there is a need for opening up yet another front and what is it that Israel aims to do.
"13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
NC showdown over Rahul's campaign. Rao over foreign delegation's visit to Jammu and Kashmir. Why is NC and Congress nervous about diplomatic visit? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Video master, ಎಲ್ಲ video ಮಾಡ. ಅಮ್ಮ ಯಾಕೆ ಪೂರ ಸೇರ್ತ ಕ್ಯೂ.
The murder mystery of a Nepali woman named as Mahalakshmi has sent shockwaves through the city. Since her mother and elder sister saw her maggot-infested body, which was chopped into 50 pieces and was stuffed inside a refrigerator in her own house. This reminds us Shraddha Walkar case in Delhi. Shraddha Walkar was a 28-year-old girl who was murdered by her own boyfriend, whose name was Aftab, and her body was cut into 35 pieces. Here, the lady named as Mahalakshmi, it is said that a person who was in friendship with her was murdered her, but the police have not concluded anything. Her estranged husband named as Hemant Das suspects the involvement of a barber who is from Uttarakhand who used to work in Nelamangala. It is said that he suspects that the barber was in an affair with Mahalakshmi. The husband, estranged husband, says, I got to know that she was in an affair with a man who is from Uttarakhand and working in a saloon in Nelamangala. And this Hemant Das also says that he came to know about this affair in April-May. And after that, Hemant Das, who owns a mobile accessory shop, has also lodged a complaint against Mahalakshmi, and he starts staying away from Mahalakshmi. And he also says that Mahalakshmi used to frequently harass him for money, and many incidents of domestic violence has also said happened between them. And he also says that Mahalakshmi used to visit him once in a month to see her daughter. Their 4-year-old daughter used to live with Hemant Das. And Mahalakshmi used to live separately from Hemant Das in Vayali Kaval. Hemant Das used to live in Nelamangala. And later on, he suspects that a guy named as Ashraf, who was from Uttarakhand, who is a barber, who was in an affair with Mahalakshmi, has involved in the murder. And the incident came to limelight when Mahalakshmi's mother and her elder sister was informed by the building owner saying that bad odor is coming out of her apartment. And later on, when mother and sister opened the door of the house, they found that Mahalakshmi's body was chopped into pieces and was stuffed inside the refrigerator. But there was no blood stains found in the house. Police suspect that the murder was happened at some other place, and the body was transported into the house since there were no blood stains. Police are suspecting many possibilities into this murder mystery, and they are tracking to find out the accused. They have not concluded anything yet. It is said that this guy eloped to West Bengal, and there police have investigated a few of his family members also, but they have not said.
Shavansan. Ladies and gentlemen, our top focus tonight, an admission that has been made by the chief advisor of the government in Bangladesh that this was a systemic process that was underway to oust Sheikh Hasina. Tonight on Live and Breaking, we'll take you through the details of that admission that has been made by Mohammed Yunus and much more. But up first, let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Jammu and Kashmir votes in second phase today. 54% voter turnout recorded till 5 o'clock in the evening. Foreign diplomats from 16 countries in the valley to witness Jammu and Kashmir elections, but National Conference says we don't need your certificate.
आप बोल रहे कि एनिमल फैट आ गया तो गलत है, बोल हम भी मानते गलत है, नहीं आना चाहिए, मगर यहाँ पर हमारे धर्म में ये तो वक्फ बोर्ड तो मुस्लिम धर्म का हिस्सा है.
AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi throws out bizarre analogy, compares Wakf Amendment Bill to adulterated laddu. Court orders Karnataka Lokayuta to probe against Siddaramaiah in Muda scam case. Middle East on the edge. Republic speaks to Israeli ambassador. He says Israel won't bow down in front of Hezbollah. What was being speculated all this while as to what led to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh? Now you have the chief advisor, Mohammed Yunus, speaking in United States of America, saying that this was not a spontaneous movement. The fact that he credits the students' movement for the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, he also goes on to indicate that this was planned much in advance. Let me just take you through the details. He was speaking at the Global Clinton Initiative 2024. He's credited the students who led the revolution against Sheikh Hasina. And he says that the entire movement was completely meticulously planned, not a sudden reaction. Now, this undoubtedly has created a massive stir, hinting at possible pre-planning of Sheikh Hasina's ouster in the garb of a student-led movement against the reservations policy. Something that has been speculated for a very, very long time. First, listen in to what Mohammed Yunus had to say.
The whole nation, they mobilized the whole nation together. It's not just the young people. Every single person in Bangladesh support this cause. And I'm very happy the support in the people of the United States to make that happen. And the sky's the limit. They want to make this Bangladesh called New Bangladesh. They said we put the reset button, old is gone. So now you build a new Bangladesh on top of it. The images of our dreams. And this is a Bangladesh of the dreams they will make. Some of the leaders of the student movement are here. Yeah, will you see it? Please stand up. Please stand up. It's amazing the way they speak. The language I never heard. That they speak about the world they want to build, the country they want to build for themselves, and they are ready behind it to make that happen. So please help them, support them, so that their dream comes true. And this is the responsibility we take together, and you'll be here with us in that dream, making that dream come true. Like any other young person, you will not recognize her. But when you see them in action, when you hear them speak, you'll be shaking. They shook the whole country by their speeches, by their dedication, their commitment. They said, you can kill us anytime you want, but we are not giving up. And he is known as to be the brain behind the whole revolution. So he denies it repeatedly. He said, not me, many others. But that's how he's recognized, that he's the brain behind the whole thing. It's an amazing, meticulously designed thing. It's not just suddenly came, it's not like that. Very well designed. Even the leadership pattern, people don't know who the leaders. So you can't catch one and say, okay, it's over. It's not over. So it's completely diverse. When they speak, the language is something it inspires any young person anywhere, any person anywhere in the world. These are the guys. Let's give them a big applause. So this is the Bangladesh. They are the one creating the new version of Bangladesh. Let's wish them a success.
Well, in fact, ladies and gentlemen, there is a bigger picture that basically emerges. In the video that you saw a short while back, Mohammed Yunus is essentially introducing one of the student leaders, Mahfouz Abdullah, as the mastermind, and the fact that you have two other students who have made radical speeches, what he says shook the entire nation. But the reality is also this, that in the last few weeks, after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, two things have certainly happened. minorities have been attacked. No matter how much they want to brush it under the carpet, that's a reality. The second is how they're pandering to the needs of Islamic fundamentalists in Bangladesh. Joining me on this broadcast is my colleague Krutarth, who's joining us from the newsroom. In fact, he's been tracking this very closely, the developments that are taking place. Now, this is undoubtedly a dangerous turn that is taking place. Krutarth, the fact that Mohammed Yunus takes Mahfouz Abdullah on the stage, credits him and says that that is the new Bangladesh.
We play a little bit more focus of the stage at where this was said. It was the Clinton Global Initiative. Now, it is a very well-known NPO run by President Clinton since 2005. We all know, it is in public knowledge that Yunus and President Clinton have shared a great collaboration between the two, even since 1980s when Clinton was the governor of Arkansas. So this is a relationship between Yunus and Clintons that go back decades. And what particularly was said on that stage is interesting. First, Mohammed Yunus says to the audience and the gathering at the Global Initiative conference that these are the people that you need to support in order to execute the plans. Then he goes on to say that this was a meticulously planned protest. He goes on to say that there was a complete anonymity about who was leading it, how well it was designed, the manner in which the speeches were delivered and how they were inspiring to the masses. But in many ways, if you decode the speech and particularly focus on what he has said in the manner in which the ouster was planned, it sort of feels like it's a victory lap in the United States that Mohammed Yunus is attempting to give in the ouster of Hasina being almost a pre-planned event. That is what has been inferred from what is exactly said, Shaban.
Just a quick question that I want to take from you, Krutarth, before I move on to the other big story that is coming in from Gujarat. With regards to the fact that the proximity of Mohammed Yunus with the Western administration is known to the entire world, but largely the intervention of the West, something that was being speculated for a very, very long time. It appears that there is a stamp on it. The fact that the West was very much aware of what was coming in Bangladesh.
Indeed, and if we look at the statements that were made, in the last 2 days, Mohammed Yunus has managed to get approvals from 2 US presidents. One was President Biden, and let me recount what he said. US President Biden said that we offer to continue support to Bangladesh to implement its new reform agenda. So clearly from the White House, from the present-day Democratic Party, there seems to be a clear nod to the Bangladesh administration. No lectures on democracy. No lectures on free and fair elections. So this is a clear indication from the White House saying that the Mohammed Yunus regime clearly has their backing. Listen to what President Clinton said. Clinton said that their friendship dates back to 1980s, and he said, "You're an old guy. I know who was even drafted for his eminent position." He does not know a single person who was drafted for this eminent position by the young people of this country. So clearly Clinton also giving a nod to the entire student-led movement that led to the eventual ouster of Sheikh Hasina. Remember, viewers, that this entire movement started against the reservation policy, but today, from the speech of Mohammed Yunus, it seemed like it was a clear operation of regime change where a new Bangladesh sort of had to emerge, something that the President Clinton administration of the past and the present-day Biden administration is also vouching for. So, Shavan, there is an interesting dichotomy here between the tale of 2 US presidents.
Well, thank you very much, Krutarth, for getting us the latest details. As we've been seeing, a sharp turn has been taken in Bangladesh politics, and the fact that for a very long time, the demand that is essentially being made by some stakeholders that elections should happen, it certainly does not look anytime soon. Shift to focus now to the other breaking news now coming in with regards to the attempts that have been made in the last few days, particularly with regards to derail trains. In fact, this comes in from Gujarat just about a few days ago, where an incident was reported from Gujarat's Surat district. 3 railway employees were arrested a while back for allegedly tampering with tracks and then alerting officials about a sabotage in a bid to take credit for averting a possible train accident. Now, in fact, we learned that the accused have been taken to the crime scene to recreate it. Let me bring in my colleague Priyanka, who's joining us on this broadcast. Priyanka, now, in the other states, there was a pattern that was basically emerging, and there was the officials basically suspect that there could be a group behind it. But this seems to be completely different. What more details are you picking up in terms of who was behind this?
Well, that's right, Shravan. We are looking at the 3 railway employees themselves who have in fact been arrested in this entire matter. And now we are looking at the crime reconstruction as well that is being carried out by the Surat Superintendent of Police Office, who are in fact also looking into the entire conspiracy angle of this. However, they have found out the proof on the mobile phones of the accused as well, where they have in fact found out that there was a vested interest with which they were acting. They had wanted a night shift for themselves, because of which they had in fact carried out this kind of a conspiracy. They had opened the fish plates themselves, and then they had, of course, taken pictures as well that they had later on deleted, which has come to light during the course of the entire investigation. We are looking at the 3 railway employees themselves who have, in fact, been implicated in this entire matter. And they are the ones who are being looked into as the main suspects into this, because earlier there was a theory that there is a larger conspiracy at play for derailing that entire train. However, we are looking at now these employees who had been working and in through the night that this entire incident had taken place. They themselves at different variations at different time in the night. In fact, they had taken pictures and then deleted them. That had been the entire evidence that had come to light during the course of the investigation. And now all of them are being brought back to the entire scene of crime to reconstruct, to understand how essentially they had carried out this entire conspiracy.
Well, thank you very much, Priyanka, for getting us the latest details. In fact, the Railway Ministry indicates that over 18 such incidents that have taken place, and they're looking at whether at all there is a striking pattern here, and which is why you've had the Railway Minister making a statement that this is being probed by the National Investigation Agency as well as the State Police. Let's also take you through more breaking news now coming in. This is from Maharashtra. Remember, this is an incident which has led to a major political face-off between the Mahavikas Aghadi and the Mahayuti. With regards to the CID team from Badlapur, which has made a significant progress in the investigation, we have recorded the statements from API Nilesh More as well as Police Inspector Sanjay Shinde. The team, in fact, has collected crucial medical reports, statements from the doctor, medical staff that were treating the officers at Jupiter Hospital in Thane. In fact, this comes after allegations were levelled by the Mahavikas Aghadi that this was a staged encounter. In fact, these are allegations that have been refuted by the Chief Minister as well as the Deputy Chief Minister, and that is the reason why the CID is basically looking into these allegations that have been levelled. Let me bring in my colleague Sandeep, who's joining us from Badlapur, getting us the latest details. Sandeep, just to walk us through the details that you're picking up, this was carried out by an encounter specialist. In fact, remember, he is the one who's essentially indicated that the firing was because of self-defense.
See, Shravan, as far as this case is concerned, remember this, this case was also challenged out there in Bombay High Court as well, and following which the court also observed that prima facie it does not seem as a normal encounter. Rather, it seems to be a fake encounter. That is what the court's observation. And not only that, the court also said that, the court want a impartial investigation in this very matter. And immediately, as far as the court hearing was concerned, immediately the CID team came into action and in fact went on to record the statement of API Nilesh More. Now, Nilesh More is the person who got injured from his own pistol, and that was fired by Akshay Shinde, the accused in the Badlapur sexual assault case. So ultimately, Sanjay Shinde is the person who, in fact, shot Akshay Shinde as a part of self-defense. That is what is being claimed by the Thane Police Crime Branch. Meanwhile, the investigation has intensified at this point in time. The CID has also collected the medical reports, the photography of the marks, the injuries has been taken by the CID at this point in time, and definitely now the CID, in fact, will record the statement of the family members, including the doctors who had initially, in fact, treated Akshay Shinde at that point in time. So definitely more and more development are expected in this very matter, Shravan.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. The true picture of this entire incident yet to come, with the CID basically looking into all the allegations that have been levelled. Union Minister and former Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar has expressed concerns over the closure of the route to Punjab at the state border. He has stated that plans were made to open the route, but individuals posing as farmers are attempting to destabilize the government. He has emphasized that these people are not farmers and has expressed relief that they have not been allowed into Haryana.
हमने इस रास्ते को खोलने के लिए योजना बना ली थी, लेकिन बनाने के बाद भी जो उस पार लोग बैठे हैं, पहली बात बता रहा हूं, किसान नहीं है। किसान का मुखौटा पहन करके कुछ ऐसे लोग जो सिस्टम को खराब करना चाहते हैं, जो एस्टेब्लिश सरकारें उनको अस्थिर करना चाहते हैं, इस प्रकार के लोग हैं।
Karnataka Home Minister G. Parmeshwara has expressed that he has not seen the investigation order yet, but the Chief Minister is prepared to face any inquiry. He has noted that the Lokayukta, being an independent body, will conduct the investigation fairly. Responding to Prime Minister's remarks, Parmeshwara has expressed that it is clear that BJP is using the situation for political gain.
We are not happy about the judgment, because when there is no involvement directly by the Honorable Chief Minister, there is no order done by the Chief Minister, there is no signature on any documentation.
A special court in Bengaluru has passed an order for an investigation against Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah by the Karnataka Lokayukta in the Muda case. The Mysuru District Police of the Lokayukta has been tasked with probing the Muda scam and are to submit a report within 3 months. The investigation follows a private complaint filed by activist Snehamayi Krishna. What is it? Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of Live and Breaking. Coming up at 8 p.m. with my colleague Abhishek, the voter turnout in Kashmir, a new phase altogether. And not just that, the biggest characteristic of this election in Jammu and Kashmir, with the election observers, particularly those from foreign countries, now taking stock of what's really happening in Srinagar and how exactly things have really changed in Naya Kashmir.
Congress NC showdown over Rahul's campaign. Rao over foreign delegations' visit to Jammu and Kashmir. Why is NC and Congress nervous about diplomatic visit? Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
anger on laddu Wakf comparison. Team Owaisi wades into laddu controversy. How can you compare laddu to Wakf? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Director, the taste of success.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Today, based on precise intelligence, we conducted extensive strikes against Hezbollah terror targets in Lebanon that posed an imminent threat. The IDF struck 1,300 targets until now, including long-range cruise.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic. From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Hello and welcome, friends. It turned out to be a big news Wednesday. Democracy has triumphed big time yet again in Jammu and Kashmir as the people there bumper voted in phase 2 of polling. Also in a big reveal, Mohammad Yunus, the caretaker chief of the Bangladesh government, has exposed of how Sheikh Hasina's ouster was meticulously planned operation. And then back home, we had AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi shooting from the shoulders of the Hindu community and seeking exclusivist privileges for the Muslim minority on the Wakf Bill. Those are going to be our 3 debates tonight. Debate number 1. Is it Naya Kashmir? Democracy takes stronger roots in Jammu and Kashmir. Debate number 2, we know now that Bangladesh coup was meticulously planned by the deep state. Yunus ousts the reality and the truth. And debate number 3 is Owaisi shooting over shoulders of the Hindu community to seek Wakf privileges. It's going to be a wider debate on Uniform Civil Code at 9 p.m. with Niranjan. But let me get you the headlines first. "54% voter turnout recorded till 5 p.m. People come out to vote in large numbers in Jammu and Kashmir as they reaffirm their faith in democracy after years. Foreign diplomats from 16 countries in the valley to witness J&K elections, but NC says we don't need your certificate."
All the young people of Bangladesh got together and said, enough is enough. We are not going to tolerate it anymore. And they didn't. Every single person in Bangladesh support this cause. And I'm very happy that the support in the people of the United States.
Mohammad Yunus is on tour to the United States, where he's engaging with various foreign leaders ahead of the UNG appearances. And there he gave a big revelation on the coup which led to Sheikh Hasina's ouster, where he says that the move was meticulously planned.
प्रसाद में आप बोल रहे कि एनिमल फैट आ गया तो गलत है, बोल हम भी मानते गलत है, मगर यहाँ पर हमारी आस्था हमारे धर्म में ये तो वक्फ बोर्ड तो मुस्लिम धर्म का हिस्सा है, तो इसलिए ये जो बिल मोदी लाए हैं वो वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज को छीनना चाह रहे।
AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi makes a bizarre analogy with Wakf and the Tirupati laddu controversy. Says that if Hindu sentiments can be hurt, if there is adulterated laddu served to them, then the Wakf Amendment Bill also hurts the religious sentiments of the Muslims. He also argued that government interference violates Article 26, which guarantees religious freedom and management of religious affairs. Okay, friends, we had a great day in Jammu and Kashmir, with democracy taking deeper roots as the Union Territory voted in phase 2 of the elections to the Legislative Assembly. Like in phase 1, this time too, people came out to vote in huge numbers. We cannot forget how in the general elections, Baramulla had voted more than Bombay or Mumbai. And now, with the widest choice possible that the people of Jammu and Kashmir have ever had in its history, the election is already being billed as the counter to 1987, if it was the dirtiest one. For reasons that are part of historical record now, 2024 is coming out as the freest and fairest one. If Omar Abdullah claims he is winning and Iltija Mufti says PDP would be kingmaker, they know democracy is winning. Despite that, whining at the most positive developments continues. Omar peddled a conspiracy theory today that the mass participation was aimed at having an assembly that endorses abrogation of Article 370. He saw internationalization in the visit of diplomats to see for themselves the exercise of suffrage. And well, the same day that Rahul Gandhi slipped between Kashmiri pundits and the POJK migrants. Friends, Jammu and Kashmir is winning. India is winning. And surprise of all, even these whiners are winning. Let's look at the developments of the day and then we debate with a panel of guests on the other side.
The world is lauding India for holding the largest democratic elections in the world.
तीसरी बार हमारी सरकार की वापसी हुई है और ऐसा पिछले 60 सालों में भारत में नहीं हुआ था.
And now, a record-breaking voter turnout in Jammu and Kashmir in the very first phase of polling.
I've never seen this kind of practice before. This is my first time, so it is satisfying.
Yeah, first time here. It's very beautiful. It's wonderful to be amongst the people who are actually here to cast their votes. I see the really vibrant enthusiasm.
It's a pleasure. It's my first time that I'm visiting Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir. So it's really a privilege to be invited by the Ministry of External Affairs to come and visit firsthand today's polling stations being open.
But the National Conference sees politics behind the global recognition of India's celebration of democracy.
यही लोग जब जम्मू कश्मीर के बारे में कमेंट करते हैं तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से बयान आता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर जो है वो हमारा अंदरूनी मामला है, इस पे दूसरों की दखल नहीं होनी चाहिए. अगर दखल नहीं होनी चाहिए, अगर इनके कमेंट्स आपको नहीं चाहिए तो इनको यहाँ लाया क्यों जा रहा है?
This is the same Omar Abdullah who met rather covertly an American delegation. The same Omar Abdullah who is in an alliance with Rahul Gandhi, who has maligned India on foreign soil several times. This even as fissures seem to be developing in the NC Congress alliance.
After Rahul is done campaigning in 1 or 2 seats in Kashmir, he focuses in Jammu. Ultimately, what the Congress does in Kashmir is not that important. What the Congress does in Jammu is important. And unfortunately, Congress hasn't done as much in the plains of Jammu as we would expect them to do.
Why are the Abdullahs so nervous about the world witnessing Jammu and Kashmir's democratic affirmation?
All right, joining me in this conversation to represent the views of the BJP and hence the central government, Radhika Khera. She's national spokesperson of the party. We also have Sushil Pandit, columnist, Kashmiri Pandit rights activist. He's joining us live from Delhi. We also have Ahmed Ayas, political analyst, leans towards the Congress party, joining us live from Srinagar. Also from Srinagar, political analyst, leans towards the National Conference, Dr. Pirzada, and hence I would want to begin with you, Mr. Pirzada. You know, let's try to understand. Are you winning? If yes, then isn't democracy winning? And if yes, then why this nervousness if some diplomats come and watch that freest and fairest exercise of democracy in Jammu and Kashmir? Why come out as so whining, Mr. Pirzada?
Thank you for this invite and my good evening to all the panelists. The question you have asked me is if it is narrative is picked up, that it's a celebration, it's a victory of the democracy that people in the large number have come to the polling booths. For the sake of argument, I do endorse this. Then what is the hesitation for the government of India to come out and to the help of the people, to rescue the people? We have certain concerns. We have the concerns of disproportionate. We have the concerns of unemployment. We have all of the concerns. We have the second largest unemployment in the Jammu and Kashmir. Is concerned that need to be concerned. And what is the hesitation? What is wrong with in coming forward to help out the people? If this is celebrated, this kind of voting percentage was previously also exhibited during the parliamentary poll. I think it is appropriate to quote it here: "Damn if you do, damn if you do not." Then what to do? What Kashmiris do? If I endorse this, I take advance, come to the rescue of the people, win our hearts, win our minds, win our hearts, and address our concerns. At least there are certain. I am a student of conflict studies as well. There are conflict resolution theories, as I quoted here. That one theory at least be put in the practice. That's the domino approach. For God's sake, come with the domino approach and address our concerns, with our hearts. If you believe that this is the crown of the India.
Yes. Some issue there with the
crown of the India is in shambles whatsoever. But a good percentage.
Go ahead.
Hello? I'm not audible.
No, you are audible. Please go ahead, Mr. Pirzada. Complete your turn.
I emphasize, I am working on the ground. I have primary source interaction with the people in my home constituency. I was supporting an independent candidate who has the roots in the national conference. I believe in pragmatic politics and realistic politics. We have suffered a lot. We have the miseries. We are a breeze of psyche and all that. Government of India should come forward and help our psyche, help our concern. The restoration of the statehood. What started the government of India is the social statehood. That is not any kind of favor. That has been snatched from we people. Government of India should come forward with certain endowments, with certain measures that could heal our psyche, that could have a healing touch. What Mufti Muhammad Sayyid wants to tell. Come with a healing touch. Address our issues, address our concerns. And this kind of voting percentage, and let me add it more to this debate. The low percentage in the Srinagar district, please for 1 second, please tolerate me.
Okay.
Srinagar district being the barometer.
Okay, I don't understand, Mr. Pirzada. Go back to the visuals of Parliament, of Lok Sabha, of August 5, 2019. The Home Minister clearly said that eventually the status of Jammu and Kashmir as a state would be restored. He's on record. After that, maybe 24 times, it has been reiterated by the central government, including in the Supreme Court of India, that at an opportune moment, the statehood would be restored. So the BJP is not saying no. But Radhika Khera, my question is, you got your opening, Mr. Pirzada, I'll come back to you. Radhika Khera, this conspiracy theory or this thought, because it's campaign season and you are allowed to, make your claims, of Omar Abdullah, that the reason why we have so many players in this election this time, apart from the Muftis and the Abdullahs, the independents, the AIP, the Apni party, even the Jamaat contesting independent candidates, about a dozen of them, some other parties, People's Conference, widest possible choice. According to Omar Abdullah, this is happening because Delhi wants to create an assembly which endorses abrogation of Article 370. Are you sort of guilty of this charge as made by Omar Abdullah?
The only thing Omar Abdullah wants to do is fuel terrorism and separatism in the valley. And we've seen that, and we've seen how they have been anti-India and how they have done anti-India policies and how they've aligned with those who are anti-India. They're in alliance, the India alliance themselves is in shambles today. They have to use the media to talk to each other. Omar Abdullah can't even use the WhatsApp, Telegram or even a mere iMessage to speak to his alliance partner Rahul Gandhi. He has to go to him using media. It's a sad situation what they created for Jammu and Kashmir, and the party, that the alliance party that is talking about, and Rahul Gandhi, their senior most leader, who's the leader of opposition, does not even know the difference between Kashmiri Pandits and POK refugees. So it is a very sad situation that they created for Jammu and Kashmir, and today they are really upset with the fact that they have zero reports of any incidents that have happened or any terror incidents or anything which is out of the ordinary which has happened during the election, and that elections are taking place peacefully. They are very rattled with that. They are very rattled with the fact that there is a entire group of people coming from various countries also to see the elections and see how the greatest festival of democracy in the world's largest democracy takes place.
Yeah.
So they are rattled with that fact, how we are managing to ensure their security and the security of the voters as well, and ensure peaceful election in the state.
Okay. Interesting point that you raised, Radhika Khera.
That they're also rattled with
that they are allies. Omar Abdullah could have picked up his iPhone and sent an iMessage or WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever he prefers and told Rahul Gandhi that please focus on Jammu, that's your territory, that's where you have more seats. Ahmad Ayaz, is the alliance coming undone as we inch closer to election results? Ahmad Ayaz, are we going to see the unraveling of the NC Congress alliance, given the statement that Omar Abdullah has made today?
Yeah, I see. As on today, it looks that Congress has been very sincere and honest so far as pre-poll alliance is concerned. And maybe there could be some compulsions with the National Conference to see that the alliance, People alliance is done, which we see that what could be the possibilities of their and being under some pressure to see that. Otherwise, possibly they would not have sought People alliance with anyone as they did with the PDP. They formed PAGD together. Then when it came to the election in the parliament, and they took their own line and they went separately for elections, despite the PDP asking that even if National Conference asks us, we will support them on all the 3 seats in the parliament. But still the National Conference has taken their own way, possibly thinking that they will have more numbers and they will be the number one party as far as parliament is concerned. I think same was their opinion. They were thinking same in the assembly elections also, that they would not need anybody's support. This is what I could see. But that in between a development took place, that it was said that National Conference had an hidden pact somewhere with the BJP, and in the process Farooq Abdullah was out of the scam. Whether that is correct or not, we can't say, but it was rumored about that this has happened, and it's sensing the ground that if this goes down, the people, and they will also end with the same fate what the Apni party met, what the Sajad Loan met. Even for that purpose Ghulam Nabi Azad met when they were tagged to be proxies of the BJP. They possibly, the National Conference tried a People alliance with the Congress, not with the sincerity that they should be seen through on the ground, or they may make a government together. Possibly because of this, to dispel the rumor that NC has made some secret pact, possibly.
We can ask Mr. Pirzada. He can dispel the rumors tonight on national TV.
So as such, sorry?
We can ask Mr. Pirzada to dispel the rumors that there is some understanding with the BJP. Mr. Pirzada, Congress party is an ally. Today you took pot shots at the Congress, and the apparent reason could be that the Congress is apprehensive that maybe behind the scenes you already have some understanding with the BJP.
Basically, I am not a spokesperson of any party. I have a much concern with our youth. Our youth is struggling. Please, for God's sake, let us not make the politics, because empowering the youth builds the tomorrow. Our tomorrow is in shambles. Our tomorrow is in the region. Come to our help. With politics, we may discuss any time, any day. I am not a spokesperson. We have the major concerns. But the profound reality on the ground is that there are good number of takers for the National Conference, for the Umar Abdullah dispensation likely to come in the offing. This is a trend on the ground. Though I am not the spokesperson of the party, I do believe, and we do not dispel, there is not any kind of impression dispelled on the ground that the NC has any kind of text understanding with the BJP and all that.
Okay.
There are good number of takers. There are good number of takers right now on the ground for the NC likely to come in the government.
Okay, it could be maybe, the swagger of this smell of victory that's making Umar Abdullah say the things that he has said. Radhika, I'll come to you, but let me get in Sushil Pandit also on this. Sushil, you see 8 or 9 players, clear, distinct players. I had forgotten to mention Ghulam Nabi Azad and his party DPAP, and he has been aggressively campaigning in the pockets that he believes he has some influence. 8 or 9 players, this has not happened in Kashmir ever. Are we looking at 2024 as the freest and fairmost election, and most importantly, a counter to 1987? In a way, Delhi sending across a message.
I think these elections are going to be very significant in the fact that there is a stratagem being deployed, and let me tell you how. Bear with me for a minute. Jammu and Valley, these are 2 separate universes in the Union Territory of J&K, and they vote contrary to each other. Those who are going to sweep the valley have very little to gain in Jammu, and those who are going to or pinning their hopes on Jammu have very little stake in the valley. This is how it is. Now, in this game, Congress has been caught in a pincer movement. Their alliance with National Conference is a deathly embrace, is a kiss of death. because their stakes are in Jammu and they are the principal rivals of BJP in Jammu. By going in alliance with National Conference, they have jeopardized their chances in the Jammu region, and BJP is smiling all the way to the counting stations. This is the writing on the wall. And that is where the post-election scenario emerges crystal clear. BJP has very clearly compromised Congress in their fight against them, and Congress has willingly walked into this trap. National Conference will dump Congress because of its poor showing in Jammu, and the compulsions of an electoral mandate and to serve the people of Jammu and Kashmir and to become a responsible party in a democratic process, BJP and National Conference will come together in the post-election scenario. This is how I see these elections panning out. As far as the multiple players are concerned,
I do agree.
As far as the multiple parties are concerned, yes, it is fragmentation of the polity. It is multiplicity of options and non-options which will confuse the people. And in this process, an entire mandate will be hijacked. People will be confused. A lot of people will not cast their vote. Those who will rue the day because this vote will have very little meaning. In the process, the entire democratic process, the sanctity of it, the sincerity of it, the purity of it will be compromised.
How come?
Is my feeling.
How come? How come? Please explain again for the benefit of viewers. You are giving a little complex argument, Sushil Pandit. How come the integrity gets compromised?
I will explain it.
If what you go to people with is not very clear and upfront, and in the post-election scenario, you go absolutely against it. You go diametrically opposed to it. And let me tell you how. In 2014, PDP fought the election to stop the BJP, and BJP fought the election to stop all the anti-India, anti-national, pro-Islamist, pro-separatist, soft-separatist polity of Jammu and Kashmir. In the post-election scenario, these two antagonistic formations formed a government very happily and ran this government for several years.
Radhika, I don't know how different this is, say, from the BSP and the BJP coming together, or the SP and the BSP coming together, or the Shiv Sena and the Congress coming together in Maharashtra. So in a way, Kashmir is mainstream now, Sushil Pandit. It's mainstream with the rest of the country. But let Radhika Khera respond, because you are creating a scenario where people could question the integrity. Radhika, that's a serious charge Sushil Pandit is making actually.
He can come up with any theory that he wants. But the fact, like I said, is everyone here is rattled that how are peaceful elections conducted. And NC and Congress are an alliance, they are an India alliance, and they have been criticizing the BJP government day in and day out. And like the NC spokesperson, the NC person over here, whether he's a supporter or a spokesperson, like he said, I'm not a party member. He said that for jobs have to be created. We are worried about the future of Jammu and Kashmir. Well, sir, in 3 years, there have been 0 incidents reported of patharbazi. Schools are being working. Children are getting to go to school. As well as there are no bands being called, where every second day there was a band being called, and our children, which are the future of the state, the future of the country, we are ensuring that the future, it can, go to school and ensure that the future is bright for tomorrow. And this is not what I am saying. If I'm sure your journalists have also gone on ground, and people are saying that it's a fact that schools are working, there's no patharbazi, people are...
Well, I can tell you from my direct experience. I have a friend in Srinagar, and he said, his kids were so happy the day of Prime Minister's rally at the Sher-e-Kashmir Stadium in Srinagar. You know why? Because they said their schools were closed for security reasons. And this is after a long, long time that their school was closed. And the kids were happy and playing. Then they got a day off from school, right? Ahmed Ayaz, you would agree that Kashmir is peaceful? That today all the men, women, youth, they can come out without any fear and indulge in this festival of democracy to the drumbeats. And that is one achievement which is between the people of Jammu and Kashmir, of course, and the government in Delhi.
Before I come to your question, I will endorse what we call it, Mr. Sushil Pandit, regarding his assessment of post-election scenario, that possibilities of BJP coming together, NC coming together for formation of with the BJP for formation of government. I also see those possibilities, and it looks very clear to me that there are more chances of them coming together than the NDA bloc forming the government in Jammu and Kashmir. Coming to your question, that should this issue be taken, whatever we have seen today, with regard to the low voters participating, lot many candidates coming in, and then not only lot many candidates but political parties beyond Jammu and Kashmir coming and fighting elections in Jammu and Kashmir, should we treat this as a normalcy and total peaceful? No, I don't see it as that. It is an outcome, whatever we have seen today, of so many factors, not the ultimate restoration of peace. It is an outcome of that after 10 years the elections are held in Jammu and Kashmir. So
not an outcome of restoration of peace. You think peace has no contribution or no role in this fantastic atmosphere where everyone, from the locals to the foreigners who come, are feeling good about being in Srinagar and happy about the exercise?
Barring a reduction, I was coming to these points one by one. You interrupted me. You see, the stone pelting stoppage is a contributory factor. Nobody can deny that.
Give credit to those who managed to stop the stone pelting, right? Can you give credit? Kisko denge credit? Who gets the credit?
Surely the way it has been handled, that all stone pelters are behind the bars. There is none, free on the roads to see that the stones are thrown. To that extent, security grid is very tight.
And can we say because the stone pelters are not coming out, the reason is that they are gainfully employed somewhere. Earlier they were getting rupees 500 for stone pelting. Now maybe they are getting rupees 1,000 from somewhere else without indulging or without risking their lives to stone pelting. That's why they are not stone pelting.
No, that's what I'm talking to you. Had the erstwhile government has thought about it and seen in these directions, perhaps it could have been done that time also. The way BJP government has taken a decision to allow that jalus of, Muharram jalus, that possibly could have been done by the other governments also.
Yes, but why? Let me ask this to Mr. Pirzada. Let me ask this to Mr. Pirzada. Mr. Pirzada, you have been in power so many times. NC has been in power so many times, including once, of course, in alliance with the BJP. But तब तो किसी ने नहीं सोचा मुहर्रम जुलूस का जो 1980s में बंद हुए. So if it is happening now, obviously because there is a naya Kashmir on the ground, right?
I may add 2-3 things if you kindly tolerate me, bear me with a minute. I request you, my colleagues as well, that certain good things happening on the ground. We do endorse this.
Yes.
I conveyed you in a first why that I believe in realistic politics, in pragmatic politics. I endorse those things. But for God's sake, please read it in introspection that Srinagar city is the barometer of the political pulse of the Jammu and Kashmir, especially at the valley. If you see the lower polling percentage in the Srinagar district, that has a much to say for the government. That has a much to say to the government, to the political analysis. Why there is a lower percentage? Because certain obvious reasons are there. So government of India should come forward, address those concerns, win the heart, win the mind of the people. We believe in democracy. We believe in constitution. And number two, we have a good number of people, we have a good number of youth in jail. Their lives are getting ruined. Those are not the incorrigible criminals. If everything goes well, propriety, ethics, legality, demands that government of India should show an amnesty towards such youth and help them a free life. And let us see, they would not fly over the mountains and then they would become the criminals. Kindly come forward. Help our concern.
Okay, fair enough. I have run out of time. I have run out of time, so I would want to move on. Thank you so much, Radhika Khera, Sushil Pandit, Ahmad Ayaz, and Dr. Pirzada. Friends, you would have seen that between all the panelists, despite the fact that they are from all sides of the political spectrum, they agreed that a lot is actually changing on the ground. And that's the Naya Kashmir. And that is a victory for democracy. And that's also an achievement, both for the people of Jammu and Kashmir and, of course, for the government in Delhi to have managed this success. Moving on. We are moving on, friends. Today, at an event hosted by former US President Bill Clinton in New York, the caretaker chief of the Bangladesh regime in Dhaka, Mohammad Yunus, gave away what we have suspected for some time, that the deposing of the democratically elected Sheikh Hasina government in Bangladesh was a meticulously planned coup. His benefactors by his side, Yunus used those words actually, that the coup was not out-of-hat revolution. It was a meticulously designed thing. I'll play the video for you, and you would see a genuflecting Yunus introducing 3 student leaders whom he calls the brains behind the dethroning of the Hasina government. The students understand the awkwardness of the big reveal. But Yunus, beholden to his benefactors and masters in the US, goes on to spill the beans nevertheless. The same Yunus had no answers on the targeting of Hindu minorities of Bangladesh when questioned by an Indian journalist from the news agency ANI in New York today itself. This on a day when there was a march in Dhaka demanding that Durga Pujo pandals not be put up near Muslim religious places. Tonight, let's hold a mirror to the deniers of minority targeting in Bangladesh, as the Western deep state stands exposed. Look at that big Yunus reveal on Bangladesh coup, and then we come back to discuss.
As the 79th UNGA session goes on in New York, world leaders, including Bangladesh Chief Advisor Mohammad Yunus, came under one roof. Yunus was seen in close proximity to his Western allies, including US President Joe Biden, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, the most surprising speech of Yunus came at his old friend Clinton's Global Initiative event. Listen in to what he had to say.
While I'm speaking on that theme, I didn't realize what will happen in Bangladesh. Suddenly, all the young people of Bangladesh got together and said, enough is enough. We are not going to tolerate it anymore. And they didn't. They mobilized the whole nation together. It's not just the young people. Every single person in Bangladesh support this cause. And I'm very happy with the support in the people of the United States to make that happen.
With weeks of what was called a student-led movement, has Mohammad Yunus finally outed the playbook? Was Hasina's ouster, quote-unquote, meticulously planned all along?
All right, joining us in this conversation, Tara Kartha, former director of the National Security Council Secretariat. She is joining us live from Delhi. She's a diplomat. She has held a long stint at the NSC. And we also have Dr. Joseph Chalil, author and publisher. He's joining us live from the United States, from Florida, in fact. And I would want to begin with Dr. Jahidul Bari, chairman of the Bangladesh Autism and Disability Institute, but he's an activist who takes pro-Bangladesh caretaker government view. It's not clear whether he would take a pro-BNP view also, but let's see. Dr. Bari, you must have heard that statement of Mohammad Yunus, the chief advisor to the caretaker government of Bangladesh. He was speaking in New York, and it's clear. He said that it was meticulously planned. It was not a revolution that students came together, started protesting, and it turned into a mass rebellion against the Sheikh Hasina government, and hence she had to go. It was planned to last detail, perhaps. Of course, he stopped short of saying that maybe if Sheikh Hasina had stayed back, she would have been killed. He was speaking to international audience. But then that's a big reveal. It's a coup that has happened in Bangladesh, backed by the Western deep state.
Yeah, definitely. Can you listen me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you for inviting me in this debate, and I'm privileged to be attended here. And the question was the Professor Yunus, the Nobel laureate, Bangladeshi chief of the interim government right now, and he told in his speech that it was planned before and it was meticulously planned. Yes, I think so. Because it wasn't a matter that to be happened very suddenly. Because Sheikh Hasina regime, Sheikh Hasina, she was a dictator, and she operated the autocracy in the last almost 16 years, 15 and a half years to the Bangladesh, and the people of Bangladesh, almost 17 crore people, they were very, very tortured by the government of Sheikh Hasina and the tools of the government.
Okay.
And that's why the people were very, very unhappy on Sheikh Hasina, and they were getting prepared to be escaped from the torture of Sheikh Hasina. And finally, it was the revolution done by the students as well as all the stakeholders of the country, all the professionals, all the people, and it was a great revolution.
Dr. Bari,
definitely meticulously planned.
You sort of dodged my question. Muhammad Yunus, if you listen to him, was very clear that these are the masterminds, these are the brains behind that entire operation.
Sorry?
Muhammad Yunus, your leader as of today, when he introduced those three students, he clearly said that these are masterminds of the operation. These are the brains behind the operation, which was meticulously planned. So obviously, you're dodging my question. My question is, isn't it clear now that it was a coup planned by the Western deep state, and Muhammad Yunus today showing to his masters that these are the brains behind the execution of that project? Did we lose the link there? I think we lost the link there. Let's try and connect again. And till that time, let me get in Dr. Tara Kartha on this. Madam Kartha, you would have heard that soundbite, and it becomes clear. I mean, I'm really appalled at the kind of body language that Muhammad Yunus had and showed in front of that crowd of the Clinton Foundation, in front of former President Bill Clinton. The way he holds his hand, the way he sort of genuflects. Isn't it a big giveaway, even by optics, even by way of reading the body language, that he's reporting to his bosses?
Well, it is not what one would expect a chief advisor of a country to do. Certainly not. I mean, it's to say that, here is the person who helped me the most. That sounds really strange. Even if I were to give him the benefit of the doubt, the things that he's saying there's clearly this image which you're showing right now. There's this looking up to, somebody who's apparently helped him out a lot. But I don't know whether he actually said that. I mean, the coup, introducing the students, the three students leaders, who were, obviously, they are the masterminds, but they were the masterminds back in Bangladesh. And there was, as the gentleman said, there were a bunch of students who were protesting, and student protests are certainly not unusual. There's a lot of strength within Bangladesh on the students' movements. I mean, we've seen it before. So I don't know. I mean, this is something, it is a little unnerving. Certainly it is unnerving to see the image which you're showing right now also of a protege that Clinton is showing it. So it's I don't know if it's deliberate or otherwise.
Joseph Chalil.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm taking it to Joseph Chalil. I can absolutely understand and appreciate what you're saying, madam, because it looks bad. I'm sure Dr. Bari, whether he admits it on camera or not, would feel bad that their leader is behaving in the manner that he did. But Joseph Chalil, it is amply clear now that these people who are serenading Muhammad Yunus, including Bill Clinton, including Joe Biden, and I want to put out those pictures also of Joe Biden really giving him a paternalistic hug when the two leaders met on the sidelines of the UNGA. And this is the picture, not this one, the other one where he's just hugging, and again, Muhammad Yusuf is bowing down literally. And the third picture, yes, this one, this picture, Joseph Chalil, is a clear giveaway of how protective they are of Muhammad Yunus, how they see them almost as their baby. And that's a giveaway. Americans really wanted Sheikh Hasina out, and they are so happy for Muhammad Yunus to be in the government in Dhaka, holding forth for them.
So sad to see the double standard of my country here in the US. There was a press release or a briefing by the White House put out last night, late last night, showing that both leaders affirmed a close partnership between US and Bangladesh, which is rooted in shared democratic values and strong people-to-people ties. Just listen to that. Strong democratic values. We just instigated an uprising to overthrow a democratically elected government in Bangladesh, instilled a non-elected government, and then we are saying President Biden and Mr. Yunus are sharing the democratic values. It clearly goes to show we speak from the both sides of the mouth, and we can clearly show that Biden, and not just the Biden in the Clinton initiative, which is co-funded by the Open Society and the Soros initiatives, were funding these initiatives. As you can see from press releases, that they started funding Dhaka University projects from 2018, 2015, as publicly known. I'm pretty sure they planned this even maybe before. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. This has been in the works for the past decade, and no one knew about it. This was public information that they were funded $10 million, then more money to create scholarship funds for Rohingya Muslims, and then for Dhaka University students. So this has been in the works for a long time. Yeah. And this is a continuation of the Arab Spring mistake, what America has been doing. So we believe we talk about democracy, but when it's convenient for us. But when it's not convenient, yeah, we would love to get our friends elected in high places. Ultimately, absolutely. What America wants is a base in the Bay of Bengal.
It's a proper regime change operation that was in the making for almost a decade and more. In fact, I have some WikiLeaks data or details with me, and Madam Kartha, you would also be interested in listening to this, as also, of course, all our viewers watching. It's of February 13, 2007. Dr. Bari, I'm coming to you to ask.
Yes.
This is after a meeting that the Consul General of the United States in Kolkata had with Muhammad Yunus, where Muhammad Yunus apparently told the Consul General or the US diplomat that while there are Muslim fundamentalists in Bangladesh, but they are only a fringe element. Dr. Bari. And that Yunus himself was interested in joining politics. He said there is risk, but I would still want to join politics. Dr. Bari, look at those pictures again of Muhammad Yunus in New York today at the Clinton Foundation event, and the way when he introduces those three students. I was surprised to see this girl wearing a hijab. Now, hijab is not the national dress of Bangladesh. If Yunus is saying that these fundamentalists, these radicals are only fringe, why is he showing a girl from Bangladesh in a hijab, which is not the national dress of Bangladesh. She could have very well been in a sari. Look at the picture. This is not from Bangladesh. This is from Iran.
Let me say, please.
Muhammad Yunus is pandering to a very radical version of Islam.
Yeah, let me say, please. I would like to say about the hijab, first of all. You asked me. Yes, hijab is not the national dress of Bangladesh, but you must remember that Bangladesh is a Muslim majority country where almost more than 92% of our people are Muslim, and our males, our females, we all are mostly Muslims, and we do offer our Islamic dresses regularly. According to the religion, you can dress up yourself as per your religion. It is, I think, not prohibited anywhere. And so I think that girl you show me in the screen, she put on the hijab.
No, the larger point I am making, Dr. Bari, is that Muhammad Yunus clearly is pandering to the extremist sentiment back home in Dhaka by serenading a girl from Bangladesh who could have very well been in a sari, the national dress of Bangladesh, instead in a hijab. Right? Now, the reason why I say that Muhammad Yunus is effectively, running with the hare and hunting with the hound, because today only, when we was asked whether Hindu minorities are being targeted, he refused to answer that. Yesterday, we had the foreign advisor of the caretaker government again in New York saying that no, that is not happening. Now, today, a protest has happened in Dhaka, Dr. Bari, and please answer this, where the majority community of Bangladesh, they said that they are not going to allow Durga Puja near a Muslim religious place. Now, look at this particular instance. Durga Puja was to be performed in Sector 11 playground. It had been happening there for many years. And now the local people there said, no, it will not happen at this playground. The organizers of the Puja Pandal moved it to Sector 13 in Dhaka, in Uttara area. Must be a district of Dhaka. And there also the local people said, no, we will not allow it here also. Wherever it used to happen, take it there. And they organized a protest. So obviously the Hindu minority is getting targeted, Dr. Bari, and Muhammad Yunus, for all the projection of integrity that he does, is refusing to accept the truth.
No, I don't think so, because the Durga Puja is going on, and in my perspective, I saw throughout my age that the people of Bangladesh, they enjoy to organize Durga Puja and other puja. I know the Saraswati Puja, that is for the education purpose. So the Muslim people, the Hindu people, and the other caste, they all actually feel enjoyed during the puja. And I think there is no happening that someone or somebody, they are protesting against puja. No, there is no evidence here. But could be, you are talking about the field in sector 11 or 13 in Uttara Dhaka. It could be due to the rainfall. Some rains have been going on for the last 3 days. And I think it could be, because in Uttara, I know, in Uttara there are few big puja mandaps, the mandaps where the Hindu people come to make their puja. So there are some big puja mandaps in Uttara and other areas in Dhaka.
Okay.
Dhakeshwari Mandir. Dhakeshwari
Still in
Mandir
denial.
is
Still in denial. Still in denial. But let me come back to the coup part. Now, there is a reason why we say that there has been a long-standing collusion between Muhammad Yunus, who is now the head of the Bangladesh government, and the US deep state. There is a reason why I am saying so, Dr. Bari, and listen to me. Dr. Kartha, I would want to get you in on this. Again, from the same WikiLeaks, emails that Muhammad Yunus wrote to his benefactors in the US, to one Vervier Melanie S., where he is briefing the Americans about his meeting with the US ambassador in Dhaka, where he says that I have received presidential medal from the US. Everyone has congratulated me for the work of Grameen Bank, but Sheikh Hasina has not done this. So you can see the depth of the problem. Dr. Tara Karta, he is writing. So you can see the depth of the problem. I thought I should keep you briefed and let you figure out what needs to be done. Thanks for your help. Give my regards to H. H is Hillary, I believe. H. Give my regards to H. See you in the CGI and Hilton event soon. Yunus. Animosity between Yunus and Sheikh Hasina goes back to 2007, 2009. And that is something which has propelled him to this position, because the Americans thought he's the best asset. He does not get along with Sheikh Hasina. He would be handy for us.
Yeah, I think that WikiLeaks which you pulled out, it sounds pretty damning. I mean, it sounds pretty terrible that he would have such a kind of the problem here is what I didn't like. I'm prepared to be completely impartial on this, but when you have attacks on minorities, which are very serious, they're his people, right? They are Bangladesh people. And then he says, this is all political. You can't brush something aside saying it's political when people are getting your people. They are your people, right? And when they are getting hit, you say it's political and you just walk away. That is when I was wondering, I said, what is going on? And much of the protests happened after this Sheikh Hasina left and this thing went on, and his meeting with the extremist leaders. All these things are, they are very worrisome. And now you bring up this WikiLeaks thing and this whole...
I have another one, Madam Karta, in fact, another one, equally damning, And thanks to Qatar for getting this for us, because I was not aware of this. This is fantastic. This is another mail he's writing to a State Department official called Verveer Melanie S. Obviously, this person happens to be someone who can help Yunus reach Hillary Clinton, who was the Secretary of State at that time in 2009 in the Obama administration. He's saying that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is coming. You must have seen her speech on the floor of the parliament. I have highlighted some sections or portions of the report for the benefit of Hillary Clinton. Please show it to her. Please play the role of peacemaker between me and Sheikh Hasina. He is begging for intervention by the Americans as far back as 2009. Dr. Bari, you can't say that. Yes. You just can't say that Muhammad Yunus is not the handmaiden of the Americans. A tool in the hands of the American deep state to execute the coup which Yunus admitted tonight in New York.
No, I cannot agree with you, because...
You can't agree, you need not agree, but you can't deny this WikiLeaks email of Muhammad Yunus, two of them, to writing to his masters in the Obama administration at that time.
It could be due to some diplomatic matters, but about the coup, I want to say it wasn't a coup made by Professor Yunus, or wasn't a coup made by USA. I must agree that it was a coup made by the people of Bangladesh. It was a coup.
It was a coup executed by the people of Bangladesh for sure, but it was a coup which was meticulously planned somewhere else. And that is, of course, a big reveal that has come today. Thank you so much, Dr. Bari and Dr. Karta, and of course, Dr. Chalil, for joining us for this very engaging conversation. We have been maintaining it for a while that what has happened in Bangladesh is not organic. The students might have been mobilized, but there was somebody backing them, somebody planning for them. They only executed a plan. Muhammad Yunus today has outed that plan and the planners, because he was standing with them. We leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us. On the other side of a short break, Niranjan comes back with the Wakf and the Uniform Civil Code debate. Join in.
$13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
National anger on laddu Wakf comparison. Team Owaisi wades into laddu controversy. How can you compare laddu to Wakf? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
Director, the taste of success.
I don't care for no songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. All I want is a touch of love.
National anger on laddu Wakf comparison. Team Owaisi wades into laddu controversy. How can you compare laddu to Wakf? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
This is Republic Kuchina Studio, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news and updates. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar. Let's get started.
National anger on laddu Wakf comparison. Team Owaisi wades into laddu controversy. How can you compare laddu to Wakf? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic. From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for the debate.
Thank you for joining us on the debate at 9 p.m. I'm Niranjan Narayanaswamy, filling in for Arnab Goswami, who will be back on this show very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight at 9 p.m. we're coming to you with two subjects. From 9 to 9:45, the very controversial subject of the Tirupati laddu. We've been debating it for the last 3 to 4 days. But why are we picking it up once again today? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this show and if you're a Hindu, then you will be as angry as I am on the Tirupati laddu controversy. Now, I felt when I heard Asaduddin Owaisi's comment today while making a comparison to the Tirupati laddu to the Wakf Bill and talking about Asta versus Asta, I felt that comparison was not required. And that is why we in the newsroom at Republic Media Network felt this is a subject that we should pick up to remind Asaduddin Owaisi and those supporting him why such a comparison is blasphemous. Here are the headlines on the show tonight.
प्रसाद में आप बोल रहे कि एनिमल फैट आ गया तो गलत है, बोल हम भी मानते गलत है, मगर यहाँ पर हमारी आस्था हमारे धर्म में ये तो वक्फ बोर्ड तो मुस्लिम धर्म का हिस्सा है, तो इसलिए ये जो बिल मोदी लाए हैं वो वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज को छीनना चाह रहे।
Owaisi stokes another controversy. Sitting in Hyderabad, he wades into the laddu controversy, compares laddu controversy to the Wakf Bill. Says the feeling is the same. Many slamming Asaduddin Owaisi politically, and even viewers, normal public, asking Owaisi what's the link and why he's trying to pour ghee on the insult. Another record turnout in Jammu and Kashmir in the second phase of elections. We have a heated debate coming up on the show. Asaduddin Owaisi likes to make comparisons and he likes to give sound bites just to provoke the people. And he's done it again, using the trending and debating subject of Tirupati laddus. While making the comparison of Tirupati laddus to the Wakf Bill, he says the feeling is the same in the Hindu community when it comes to Tirupati laddus. Similarly, he says that's how the Muslim community feels when it comes to the Wakf Bill. Can he make that comparison at all? Is there a comparison at all? What's the link? Here's what he said, and then we debate.
The political slugfest over the Wakf Reform Bill is making headlines. This after AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi's fiery verbal attack on the BJP and RSS.
ये एक झूठा प्रोपेगेंडा बीजेपी आरएसएस ये कर रही है पूरे देश में कि वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी जो है वो एक प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी है। बीजेपी इसको ऐसा बता रही है कि ये गवर्नमेंट प्रॉपर्टी है। दूसरा एक झूठा प्रोपेगेंडा बीजेपी आरएसएस और उनके अलाइज की तरफ से किया जा रहा है कि वक्फ बोर्ड के पास देश में 9,40,000 एकड़ जमीन है। ये एक अफवाह फैलाई जा रही है।
Drawing a bizarre parallel between the Wakf Board and the Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanam, the AIMIM MLA questioned why the former should allow outsiders when the TTD doesn't.
प्रसाद में आप बोल रहे कि एनिमल फैट आ गया तो गलत है, और हम भी मानते गलत है, नहीं आना चाहिए, उनकी आस्था है। मगर यहाँ पर हमारी आस्था, हमारे धर्म में ये तो वक्फ बोर्ड तो मुस्लिम धर्म का हिस्सा है, तो इसलिए ये जो बिल मोदी लाए हैं, उनकी सरकार लाई है, वो वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज को छीनना चाह रहे।
Meanwhile, Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju spoke about extensive consultation rounds that are underway.
वक्फ अमेंडमेंट बिल तो आप लोग को पता है पेश किया है, अब जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी के पास गए हैं और हम चाहते हैं कि ये विंटर सेशन आते आते जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी अपना काम पूरा करे।
The question is, despite extensive consultations, why is Owaisi engaging in constant politicization? Why is Owaisi putting the Tirupati laddu issue and the Wakf amendment row on the very same pedestal? Is the adulteration of the sacred Tirupati prasadam the same as the demand for institutional transparency? Amid a fresh upward in the political saber rattling over the Wakf Bill, the biggest question: can the JPC arrive at a consensus on the proposed reforms?
Joining us on the debate this evening are Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the BJP. I have Ratan Sharda, author. Jyotsna Trinagari, National Spokesperson of the TDP. I have Adil Hassan, National Spokesperson of the AIMIM. Professor Pularao, political analyst, and Abdul Razak, yet to join us. Okay. Adil Hassan, see, Asaduddin Owaisi is a very educated barrister, very well spoken. I've seen Asaduddin Owaisi, I've met him, I've spoken to him several times. I speak to him often, when there is a news story. Asaduddin Owaisi, the barrister and the educated man, is very different in public than when he is in private when it comes to matters of religious affairs. But I would expect Asaduddin Owaisi to know the difference between religious sentiments and matters of governance. See, Waqf is a regulation, right? Waqf is a matter of regulation. The Tirupati laddu is a matter of religious sentiments. I'll tell you why. I'll give you an example, right? And I'm not naming any religion, and I'm requesting all our panelists to be very calm in this debate because, it's concerning religion, and please don't speak out of turn and don't make any comments that will hurt religious sentiments. See, I'm coming from the city of Bengaluru. I was born in the city of Bengaluru, okay? Adil. And many years ago, and almost 2 decades ago, I will tell you, there were some scoundrels, okay? You know what these scoundrels would do? These scoundrels would cut a pig's head and they would throw it into a place of worship. I'm not naming the place of worship. I'm not saying which religions the scoundrels belong to, but these scoundrels would do that. That is a matter of religious sentiment. Okay? Now let's leave that aside. Now my point is, you can't compare Tirupati laddus to Waqf. There is no comparison. Was it required, Adil?
Now, may I speak?
Yes, please.
सर, बड़ी सब्र से आपकी बात सुना, उम्मीद है कि आप भी मेरी बात सुने।
Yes.
आप जो देश की भावना की बात कर रहे हैं, इस देश को यह भी सोचना चाहिए कि एक 80 साल की महिला उड़ीसा में अपना ओल्ड एज पेंशन के लिए, वहां भाजपा सरकार है, उसको 2 किलोमीटर क्रॉल करना पड़ा। गाजियाबाद में
सर, ये रिलीजियस वापस 2 स्टेप पीछे लीजिए। ये हम आएंगे इस बात पे, इस मुद्दे पे आएंगे। हमने 1 मिनट, मुझे पता था आप ये करेंगे।
ये भी एक रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट,
मुझे पता था। नहीं, ये देखिए, आगे मैं रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ। 1 मिनट, मैं रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ। नहीं, मैं रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट, 1 मिनट, आदिल प्रोवोक मत कीजिए आप। ये रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट की बात है। रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट के बारे में बात नहीं कीजिए आप। रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट के बारे में बात कीजिए आप। नहीं, मत कीजिए आप।
क्या नहीं करे? 30 में चौक किया गया, ये भी
नहीं, मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूँ, कंपैरिजन क्या है यहाँ पे? कंपैरिजन क्या है?
बैरिस्टर असदुद्दीन ओवैसी साहब ने जैसे अगर आपका सेंटिमेंट, अगर आपका लड्डू में सेंटिमेंट है तो हमारा भी वक्फ बोर्ड सेंटिमेंट है। ये हमारे बाप दादा ने जमीन की है। I will not join. Ask Mr. संजू वर्मा to
मिस्टर नहीं, मिसेस संजू वर्मा, एक मिनट, मिस संजू वर्मा, 1 मिनट, मिस संजू वर्मा, एक मिनट,
मुझे बोलने दीजिए।
संजू वर्मा is a lady who is joining us. She is a BJP spokesperson, not मिस्टर नहीं है। एक मिनट सुन लीजिए आप, एक मिनट आदिल जी सुन लीजिए आप।
She got the best expert in interruption.
नहीं, एक मिनट, आपका कंपैरिजन में थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो गया AIMIM को वायरिंग, थोड़ा वायरिंग में प्रॉब्लम है आज, कंपैरिजन गलत कंपैरिजन हो रहा है। एक मिनट,
मेरा वायरिंग बहुत अच्छा है, आपको
सुन लीजिए आप, एक मिनट सुन लीजिए आप, एक मिनट, होल्ड ऑन, आई गिव यू 20 seconds टू कम टू द पॉइंट। मेरा जो मुद्दा था, मुद्दे पे आइए आप, रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट के बारे में 20 सेकंड देता हूं, उसके बाद संजू वर्मा।
अगर वक्फ बोर्ड हमारे बाप दादा ने अल्लाह और अल्लाह के रसूल के नाम पर दिया है, वो हमारा रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट है। अगर आपका लड्डू में रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट है, हम उसकी इज्जत करते हैं। उस बोर्ड का मेंबर में जो भी मेंबर थे सब नॉन मुस्लिम थे, उसमें बीजेपी का एमएलए भी था। चंद्रबाबू नायडू उस वक्त राहुल गांधी के गोद में खेल रहे थे। वाईएसआर केंद्र में मोदी सरकार का समर्थन किए, तो उसमें हमारा कोई गलती नहीं है। हम चाहते हैं दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो, लेकिन वक्फ बोर्ड हमारा सेंटिमेंट है। व्हाई यू आर इंटरफेयरिंग?
अरे एक मिनट, ये क्या सेंटिमेंट के बारे में बात हो रही है? एक मिनट आदिल जी, 20 सेकंड हो गया, एक मिनट, 20 सेकंड हो गया, 20 सेकंड हो गया, अभी 20 सेकंड हो गया, 20 सेकंड हो गया, अभी आप चुप रहिए, आप चुप रहिए। मैं सेंटिमेंट के बारे में मैं भी बोल सकता हूं। ओके संजू, व्हेन पीपल, अरे सुन लीजिए भाई साहब सुन लीजिए, सेंटिमेंट के बारे में बात कर, नहीं, एक मिनट सुन लीजिए, आप सुन लीजिए, मैं बोलता हूं सेंटिमेंट क्या होता है। सेंटिमेंट ये होता है जब आप जाते हो और तुम बोलते हो, आप माने पता नहीं कौन, लेकिन वो जाके बोलते हैं तमिलनाडु में कि मंदिर वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी का है। वो भी सेंटिमेंट है। संजू का चांस है, आप प्लीज चुप रहिए, सुन लीजिए आप। संजू वर्मा का चांस है, संजू को सुन लीजिए आप, संजू को सुन लीजिए आप।
संजू को सुनते
नहीं, अभी बात ही नहीं शुरू हुई, बैटिंग नहीं की।
शांत हो जाइए, अभी आपके बोलने की बारी खत्म है, मेरे बोलने की बारी है। शांत रहिए और सुनिए।
उनको पता भी नहीं है, पता भी नहीं है आपको। मैं बोलता हूं संजू के बाद।
Very quick points. Niranjan, can you ask this man to stop giving me background music? I did not heckle him. शांत हो जाइए आदिल हसन, बारी में बोलिए
प्लीज। आप आदिल, ये सही नहीं है, आदिल सही नहीं है, सुन लीजिए आप, सुन लीजिए आप।
Stop making stupid blabbers on national television. Thank you.
आदिल प्लीज डोंट हेकल हर। हेलो आदिल, एक मिनट, 1 मिनट, आदिल मत कीजिए, ये गलत है। 1 मिनट, संजू वेट, डोंट, ही विल कीप हेकलिंग यू। 1 सेकंड आदिल, ये ठीक नहीं है। नहीं, सुन लीजिए, जब आप बात कर रहे थे, सुन लीजिए आप, बहुत सीरियस मामला है, प्लीज आप ऐसे मत कीजिए आप। मैंने आपको वार्निंग दे रहा हूं, मत कीजिए आप। जब वो बात करी थी, मैंने उनको बोला था, मैंने उनको भी बोला था चुप रहने के लिए। आप प्लीज, आप चुप रहिए, अभी चुप रहिए आप। नहीं, आप चुप रहिए, आप चुप रहिए, आप 1 मिनट चुप रहिए आप 1 मिनट, 1 मिनट प्लीज। नो, प्लीज डोंट क्रॉस द लाइन।
ठीक से बोलिए।
आप मुझे बोल रहे हैं,
किसको लो कीजिए,
किसको बोल रहे हैं? किसको? मुझे बोल रहे हैं? मेरे ट्यूशन टीचर है आप, मेरे ट्यूशन टीचर है आप, आप मेरे ट्यूशन टीचर हो। मैं संजू को भी बोला चुप रहने के लिए, आप चुप रहिए 1 मिनट। अरे डिबेट को बर्बाद मत कीजिए आप प्लीज। सभ्यता है, सुन लीजिए। मैं एक और बार रिपीट कर रहा हूं, मेरे क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर रहा हूं, सुन लीजिए आप। क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर रहा हूं, ये संजू के लिए है और अब बात नहीं करेंगे संजू के ऊपर। Wakf board in Tamil Nadu, to all our viewers, one example I'm giving. Religious sentiments. Wakf board in Tamil Nadu recently claimed ownership of an entire village. The village has a 1,500-year-old temple. The temple is older than the religion claiming it. That is religious sentiment. Sanju.
Thank you. Niranjan, first and foremost, thank you for, reining all of us in and ensuring that we don't speak out of turn. I have some very few quick points to make. The most important point is this. Asaduddin Owaisi has repeatedly said that the Wakf Amendment Act is against the spirit of Article 25 of the Constitution, because Article 25 gives everybody the freedom to profess, practice and propagate a religion of their choice. But Asaduddin Owaisi forgets that the very constitution which gives him, you, me rights under Article 25 also says that every fundamental right of the Indian constitution is subject to public order, morality and health. No fundamental right functions in vacuum. That is my point number one. My point number two is this. Asaduddin Owaisi also says that the Wakf Amendment Act is against the spirit of Article 26 of the Constitution, which gives minorities, including Muslims, the rights to administer religious institutions of their choice in the manner that they deem fit. What Asaduddin Owaisi forgets to mention is that there is a very big disclaimer within Article 26. Article 26 clearly says that any religious group can manage and administer religious institutions of their choice, but subject to the legal and the jurisdictional provisions as per the Indian Constitution and as per the law of the land, which means that Article 26 also does not function in a vacuum or in isolation. Finally, the larger jurisprudence of the law of the land will prevail over everything else. The third and most important point is this. Asaduddin Owaisi says that this is a figment of our imagination, figment of the BJP's wild imagination, figment of the Modi government, but this is nobody's figment. These are hard facts, and the hard facts are these. There are today 8.7 lakh Wakf properties. The total value of these properties is in excess of 1.2 lakh crore, and the total land that the Wakf board currently has under its ambit is in excess of 9.4 lakh acres. But the most important point is this, which Asaduddin Owaisi needs to hear loud and clear. He says that the Wakf board is representative of the larger Muslims, and I did some homework, Niranjan, and I was shocked to find out that there are only 32 Wakf boards in India, out of which there are only 2 Shia Wakf boards, one in Bihar, one in Uttar Pradesh. So the Wakf board basically represents only Sunni Muslims. It does not represent Shias, it does not represent Hazaras, it does not represent Ahmadiyas, it does not represent Boras. For Asaduddin Owaisi to say that the Wakf board is representative of the interests of the larger
Can I get the AIMIM counter, Sanju?
Hence absolute rubbish.
Yeah, okay. Sanju, I want to give the AIMIM 30 seconds to counter you, and then I want to open up the debate. I want to get the other panelists in. In all fairness, Adil, आपको 30 सेकंड दे रहा हूं रिस्पॉन्ड करने के लिए, कीजिए, लेकिन फैक्चुअल काउंटर दीजिए आप.
सबसे पहले जो वक्फ बोर्ड की बात कर रहे हैं, वक्फ बोर्ड जो है वो वक्फ बोर्ड का जो सीईओ होता है, और सीईओ सरकार का अधीनस्थ होता है, ज्वाइंट सेक्रेटरी रैंक का ऑफिसर होता है. वो कोई शरिया कोर्ट और कोई मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उसको अपॉइंट नहीं करती है. और ट्रिब्यूनल चेयरमैन इज अपॉइंटेड बाय द चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ दैट सब उस स्टेट. और आप जो बार बार बोल रहे हैं 12 लाख एकड़ से ज्यादा हिंदू इंडोनमेंट बोर्ड के पास जमीन है आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, तमिलनाडु और उड़ीसा में. उसका वो वक्फ बोर्ड से लाखों ज्यादा है. ये बार बार
कौन बोल रहे हैं
किया जा रहा है कि वक्फ बोर्ड को, ये सच्चाई में बोल रहा हूं, आई कैन गिव यू ऑल द एविडेंस. और महिला पहले से रहती थी, 2 महिला पहले से रहती थी.
सरासर झूठ बोल रहे हैं.
Hello. One second. I'm opening. Sanju, don't respond to him. Adil, counter coming. 1 minute. Counter coming. Adil, counter coming. 1 minute. Adil, hold on. Counter coming. 1 minute. Counter. Sanju, wait. Don't respond to him. Sanju, don't respond to him. Sanju, don't respond to him. Sanju, don't respond to him. Don't respond. I mean, 1 minute. I'm opening it up. Please. I want to bring in the other panelists. I'll bring in Abdul Razak at this point along with Jyotsna. Okay? And I'll give you an anecdote. Ratan Sharda, listen to this. Abdul Razak was in the Republic Kannada studio a few days back. He's in Bengaluru. So we had a debate in Kannada. He's a Kannada-speaking, Muslim leader from Bengaluru. He was there in one of our debates, in the Tirupati laddu debate. And our anchor in the studio had laddus from Tirupati. There is a TTD office in Bengaluru, so we managed to get, the laddus from there. And on that debate, at the end of the debate, we thought, in the right spirit, we'll give that laddu to everybody in the studio. Everybody, if you're in Bengaluru, if people celebrate festivals together, it's common, right? All our panelists had the laddu. But Abdul Razak did not have the laddu. He had a doubt.
Because I'm not a hypocrite.
No. Hear me. Calm down. Abdul Razak did not have the laddu because he had a doubt whether there were traces of pork in that laddu, and I respect that.
Sir,
you should respect
that. What are you talking about when there are reports of the Gujarat lab saying that there was
yes.
lard and...
Sir, listen. Hello. Wait, I haven't completed my question. Can you let me complete my question?
We will not eat
no, you didn't.
Product which is mixed with pork fat.
Don't. Abdul Razak, verbal diarrhea is not good. Hear my question first.
Sir,
Hear my
it is
question.
not verbal diarrhea. I'm not.
Hear my question.
I will not eat. I will not eat.
I have not.
That is my religion.
I have not asked a question. Why are you reacting? My question was, you didn't eat that because there are traces, which has now been confirmed. So I respect that. That is religious sentiment which must be respected.
Yes.
Abdul, that is religious, a sentiment that should be respected. But how is it that when you go stake claim to a temple that has been there for 1,500 years, for towns, you stake claim on towns and villages that existed for 1,500 years. You want that property, right? Is that not religious sentiment? I want Jyotsna. Okay, Razak first and then Jyotsna. Jyotsna ji, give him a minute to respond. Give him a minute to respond, Jyotsna ji.
Belongs to Tamil Nadu. We are not making baseless claims like Taj Mahal means Tejo Mahal, Qutub Minar is Vishnu Stamp. We are not making any Tom, Dick and Harry stories, and we are not making, baseless claims. The claim has a valid proof for that. And that was the reason why it was said that the said land in Tamil Nadu belongs to Wakf Board. Are there any baseless claims like Taj Mahal ko Tejo Mahal bana do, Qutub Minar ko Vishnu Stamp bana do? We are not talking rubbish and we are not talking nonsense. Adulteration in any form, even if it
I am going to stop you at that stage. Razak, pause. I want Jyotsna to respond. Razak, hold on. Factual counter. Razak, Jyotsna ji, I'm asking you a question. I'm stopping him right there because I want to factually counter him. He said we are not talking cock bull stories, right? We're not making up such stories. Those were the words used by Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak, I will hammer your point right now with the cock and bull story that the Wakf Board came up with. The cock and bull story. By the way, before I tell you the year, the start of Islam is marked in the year 610. Okay? The Wakf Board claimed ownership of the entire Tiruchendurai village in Tamil Nadu. The village has a 1,500-year-old Manindiyalvalli Sameti Chandrasekhara Swami temple, 1,500 years old. The temple is older than the religion of Islam.
Temple.
That is a cock and bull story. Laying claim to that is a cock and bull story. Jyotsna, it's Jyotsna's turn. I want Jyotsna to come in. I've given you your turn. Jyotsna is coming in. Wait. Jyotsna is coming in. Razak, I told you. Hold on. Jyotsna.
Listen. Hold on. This is what they want exactly, Niranjan. I'm telling you this. The mere statement of Asaduddin Owaisi is just not a pure reflection of his notorious mindset, but also the fact that he's politically immature. I'll tell you why. Here, let's talk about two issues, because he compared two issues. Wakf Board ka issue is more about legal definitions, property rights, and management and something like that. Isn't it, Niranjan? Whereas the Tirupati laddu issue, it concerns about religious purity and tradition and the dietary constructions and all that. So the statement of, listen Razakji, listen. The statement of Owaisi is an attempt to stir communal tensions. Merely he's exploiting religious sentiment.
That is the comparison. Why such a big
one thing, sir. You need to listen. Where did the comparison come from? That's what I'm asking. Where did the comparison come from? What the legal framework है? इसके ऊपर JPC लगाया. आपको कुछ है तो JPC में जाके बोलो. Asaduddin Owaisi in parliament.
No. Jyotsna ji. I want to bring in Ratan Sharda and Professor Pullara. 1 minute. I want to bring in Professor Jyotsna ji, listen to this. You'll really enjoy this point. All of you will enjoy this point. To take the cock and bull theory forward, I'm going to ask Abdul Razak, a yes or no question. He will only say yes or no. Did a Muslim... 1 minute, listen to me, Razak. Did a Muslim leader in Bengaluru... Razak, I'm repeating it. Did a Muslim leader in Bengaluru/Karnataka claim that the Vidhana Sauda in Bengaluru is Wakf property? Yes or no?
You are talking about the former Wakf.
Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Tell me yes or no.
But there is a story behind.
Tell me yes or no. I said yes or no question.
Yes.
Yes. Ho gaya.
Yes.
Stop. Enough. They want to stake claim to the assembly in Karnataka. 1 minute. They want to stake claim to the assembly in Karnataka. I'm going to go to Professor Pullarao. No. I'm going to Professor Pullarao. Professor Pullarao and Ratan Sharda has not spoken. Ratan Sharda.
Ask them.
Yeah.
Ask them why are they linking religious sensitivity with legal framework. You need to ask that question.
I'm asking that question. I'm going to Ratan Sharda and Professor Pullarao. Okay, I'm going to calm this debate down. I'm going to calm this debate down. I'm going to calm this debate down a bit. I'm getting Ratan Sharda and Professor Pullarao, very, very senior analysts on opposite sides of the political spectrum. Ratan Sharda, Owaisi knows how to spin a headline, create a controversy, right? Get people talking about an issue. Waqf was almost forgotten. People were living with it. And then he does this, right? You see the ridiculousness of the Waqf. How can you compare the two? Ratan Sharda, in your view, could he have avoided it? Ratan Sharda and Professor Pullarao, yes.
Well, Niranjan, to my mind, Professor, you want to go first?
No, you talk. I enjoy listening to you. You talk.
It's fantastic. At least you're speaking to each other.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
See, for me, Satyendra Owaisi deliberately is trying to rub salt in the wounds. Now, what is the point of debate? Debate is the persecution of Hindus by taking over their temples versus privilege that Muslims enjoy under the constitution. It is a debate between right taken away by Congress from Hindus and given special rights gifted to Muslims by Congress, by the Wakf board, and taking away temples under HRC. It's a debate between Hindus who want justice for their temples being taken over, given this useless prasad, and putting even prasad into a tender business. The debate is between Hindus have been disempowered by the constitution, the law, by not having rights to govern their own temples, their own religious affairs, even teaching their own religious text or scriptures in their schools. It is versus Muslims given extra power by giving this Wakf board, amending the constitution. What was wrong with the Wakf Board Act of 1954? Where were Muslims from 1947 to 1954? Why, if that was Wakf board and that was what the Muslims wanted, then what changed that it became a very highly toxic, overly powerful 1985 amendment? Was Wakf board not Muslim enough before that? And why it was again amended by Congress in 2013? Was Wakf board not Muslim enough? These are the issues that are being discussed. And nobody is taking over Wakf. We are worried that Wakf will take over our homes, our villages, our temples. See, Mughals ruled over mass land in Bharat. So tomorrow they will say every land belongs to Muslims. They wanted land, they wanted Sharia, they were given Pakistan. One third of the land. With bloody violences and murder of lakhs of people, dishousing of crores of people was created. Now they want the same rights back in Bharat. Then why is the division done on India? So all this is unnecessary creation of persecution complex. The Wakf was there before that, 1954, and that was not a religious faith. Then what was 1995? What was 2013? So the entire debate is a hocus pocus. It carries no weight. It is not related to Sharia because there is no Wakf before 1954. Then what are Muslims doing at that time? So these are all useless, pointless debates, creating heat, creating hate between the people, and making a joke out of faith of Hindus have been heard very badly. To my mind, laddu is not the issue. Laddu is symbolic of misleading of Hindus, their own religious faith, and by taking over the temple, 3,000, 4,000 crore worth of donation every year, and my prasadam is sold to me, and that too under the tender process. It's a mercantile business. It is a temple. What the hell is these people doing by making a tender, a mercantile business out of this prasadam? Did Hindu ask for poor prasad? Did they ask to pay for the prasad? They should be given it free. What are they doing with all the money? They are using the money for secular purposes of government. They are using the money for madrasas and churches also. but they are not using the money for giving prasadam to people who actually contributed to this particular temple. So I want my temples back. I have no issue by one batch of laddus have got some impurity or not, because it shows total lack of faith, total people who are on the governing the temples who have no devotion to this particular dharma, who have no devotion to this Bhagwan Tirupati, and they don't deserve to be on the trust, and we deserve better than this.
Yeah. Professor Rao.
Okay, let me make one correction. I heard everything that our friend said. I don't disagree with any one of them. One big correction. The Joint Parliamentary Committee on Wakf was set up in 2002 when Vajpayee was Prime Minister. Bairat Singh Shekhawat was the chairman of Rajya Sabha. And the first chairman was Lal Jan Basha, belonging to the Telugu Desam party. It was not Rahman Khan who came later. The entire report was compiled, formulated during Mr. Vajpayee's time. That was before they set it up, not the Congress party. Later on, what the Congress party did, I don't defend what they did. That's the history. The second part of it is, I don't want to go into what Mr. Owaisi said, but he has, as Ms. Sanju Verma has said, articles so she quoted. Article 19, Mr. Owaisi has the right to talk. He has a right to talk. That is the major problem that's going on here. He has a right to talk. And he has talked. Therefore, I think we should not grudge him. We should not grudge him that. Let the differences come out. Let the differences come out in the open. And we can try to resolve it in a democracy. We need not be afraid of an opinion. Yes, stating his opinion is not the last word on the issue. And it should be, and he has not yet said his view. And we cannot tell him, don't have this view. And therefore, we should let that argument be there and define the laddu issue. And all of this is another thing. Niranjanji,
yes.
One small point I just want to make. Since you have given a lot of emphasis to Tirupati temple.
Yes.
Even the other day, I mentioned this. Why isn't the Andhra Pradesh government and central government removing Tirupati from the state government's control? This is a great opportunity.
I'll tell you.
Support will be there.
May I come in, Niranjan? I need to make a rebuttal, please, because you made some points about what I had to speak.
Can I ask one question?
And what I had to say earlier on in the debate.
I want to ask one question.
Rebuttal, please?
Yeah, I'm letting you speak, Sanju, but I want to ask one question to the entire panel. Okay? One question to the entire panel. Just nod your head or shake your head and I'll understand, okay? Were there non-Hindus in the TTD board? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
No. There was a
I haven't completed second part of my question. Razak, relax. Razak, hold on. Don't be excited.
There were...
Why? No, wait. Does Owaisi or anybody in these Muslim groups fighting against the Wakf Bill, are they for or against inclusion of non-Muslims in the new Wakf Bill, on the new Wakf board? Yes or no? Do they want non-Muslims on the Wakf board, the new Wakf board?
We don't want it.
Exactly. You don't want. Fine. You don't want. You answered my question. Sanju's coming in. I wanted to ask. My point is made. Sanju and then Jyotsna. Sanju. Adil, Sanju.
Thank you. Niranjan, I agree with Mr. Pula Rao. Article 19 gives you, me, Jyotsna, Mr. Ratan Sharda, each one of us, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But I fail to understand, I've never seen Mr. Pula Rao stand up in solidarity with Hindus, when the matter is about Hindus and their free speech, Hindus and their freedom of expression, Hindus and their rights under what their Hindu dharma or Sanatan dharma entails. But that is not the moot point of the debate. I would like to point out, and for the benefit of your audience, nobody on the panel has spoken about the very, very important judgment given very, very recently, barely a few hours back, by the Delhi High Court, which has actually rejected the claims of the Shahi Idgah Committee. The Shahi Idgah Committee did not want the statue of Maharani Jhansi, Rani of Jhansi, to be installed at the Shahi Idgah Park at Sadar Bazaar in Delhi. And this is what the single judge bench of the Delhi High Court said to the Shahi Idgah Committee, which I think every Muslim and every sane-minded Indian should hear. The Delhi High Court said, Rani of Jhansi is a national hero. The Wakf board has no business undermining our national heroes, point number one.
Yeah.
Then the Delhi High Court said that, the Delhi Development Authority, the DDA, has absolute right to maintain any property that it deems fit, and the Wakf has no legal or fundamental right to oppose the maintenance and upkeep that the DDA engages in, including of statues like that of Rani of Jhansi, which needs to be installed at the Shahi Idgah Park. Then the Delhi High Court said to the Shahi Idgah Committee, do not make scandalous comments. And the fourth point was the most important one, which the likes of Asaduddin Owaisi need to hear. The Delhi High Court said, let the Wakf board not make scandalous comments, let the Wakf board not divide people on the grounds of religion, not divide people on the basis of communal overtones, and not polarize people within the country. So Asaduddin Owaisi needs to stop polarizing people, needs to stop dividing people, needs to stop communalizing every issue. The Wakf Amendment Act is about bringing in accountability, bringing in transparency, digitizing records, and setting in place a legal mechanism if you really want to reclaim an illegal property.
I want to know how is it about Astha? No, 1 minute. Because he said, I'll tell you his exact quote. 1 minute. 1 minute. Sanju, 1 second. Sanju, 1 second. He says, प्रसाद में आप बोल रहे थे कि एनिमल फैट आ गया तो गलत है, वो उनकी आस्था है, मगर यहाँ पर हमारी आस्था है, वक्फ बोर्ड मुस्लिम धर्म की हिस्सा है. ये आस्था की बात कैसी हुई? ये स्टैट्यूटरी बोर्ड है ना सर जी? आदिल, ये स्टैट्यूटरी बोर्ड है ना? स्टैट्यूटरी बोर्ड है. हाउ इज इट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ ऑल मुस्लिम्स? 1 मिनट. आदिल से पूछ रहा हूँ.
There is no sensitivity to this because it was not there before 54. It was amended in 95. Amended in 2013.
Yeah. Let me speak.
Adil, 30 seconds. Adil.
My name is Adil. My name is not Ratan Sarda Sahib. My name is Adil.
I didn't know.
Please let me speak. Please.
I didn't know you were Adil. I thought you were some other grey person.
Okay, Adil, go ahead.
You need some cataract.
You're wasting time, sir. Go ahead. You're wasting time, Adil. Go ahead.
Yes.
No. Yes, my dear brother. My concern is that Eidgah, Masjid, ये हमारी आस्था का केंद्र है. इमाम कौन रहेंगे वो रतन सारदा और संजू वर्मा नहीं करेंगी.
हाँ.
रानी लक्ष्मीबाई का फैसला. लेट मी स्पीक.
हमको कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है.
लेट मी स्पीक. अंकल लेट मी स्पीक.
कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. नहीं, आप गलत इल्जाम मत लगाइए. हमको कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं तुम्हारे इमाम में. हमको कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं मस्जिद के अंदर.
No, don't call him uncle. He's got a name. He's got a name. Adil, उसको अंकल मत बुलाइए आप. उसको अंकल मत बुलाइए आप. ये ठीक नहीं है. आप उनको अंकल मत बुलाइए. ये क्या है अंकल बुलाना? ना, अंकल क्यों बुला रहे हो उसको? अंकल नहीं, आप ऐसे बोल रहे हैं कि वो हम डिसाइड करेंगे. और सुन लीजिए, आपने जाके शिवालय, मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको, शिवालय जो लखनऊ में था उसको जाके रजिस्टर कर लिया वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी करके. हाँ, उत्तर प्रदेश या सेंट्रल वक्फ बोर्ड के साथ आप कोल्यूट करके. हाँ, 1 minute. Sanju, one sec. Sanju, no need to call anybody names. No need to call anybody names. Just because he said something, no need to call anybody names. I'm running out of time. No need to call anybody names. There is absolutely no reason to call anybody names. Please take everything back. There's no need to call anybody names. No need to call. I've told him there's no need to call anybody uncle. You don't have to call him any names either. Please take that back. Take that back. I'm ending the debate. Run out of time. Ratan Sarda ji, it's a very sensitive debate. We'll speak again. It's a very sensitive debate, not the kind we can have with Adil, please. Adil, आपको भी ना थोड़ा, please, you have to learn to respect other panelists. You have to learn to respect Adil. आप ऐसे नहीं कर सकते आप. ऐसे नहीं कर सकते आप. बहुत गलत किया आपने. Please, uncle, कैसे बुलाते आप? No, Sanju, you can't say that. Please take that back. I've run out of time. I'm sorry, only because I'm short of time. I'm thanking all our panelists. I'm short of time, Ratanji, I apologize. I've run out of time because I have an interview with Amitabh Kant coming up. Amitabh Kant on 10 years of Make in India. Make in India is not just a slogan anymore. It's a reality. Think about 10 to 11 years back when India would manufacture just about 5 crore mobile phones. Today we produce over 60 crore mobile phones, and all of this transformation has happened in the last 10 years. Manufacturing adding up to almost 15 to 16% of our GDP. From being importers, we are now exporters, and 10 years of Make in India, the Prime Minister spoke about it, the transformation of India in the last 10 years. On the Make in India front, Amitabh Kant spoke to us. Here's that excerpt.
Co-powered by Jaguar Bath & Light.
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
I don't ever know songs and proses. I don't care for no sweet boys with roses. I'm too busy, baby, making plans on how to get me one of them manly men. All I want is a touch of love.
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡ ಅಮ್ಮ ಯಾಕೆ ಪೂರ ಸೇರ್ತ ಕ್ಯೂ
The murder mystery of a Nepali woman named as Mahalakshmi has sent shockwaves through the city. Since her mother and elder sister saw her maggot-infested body, which was chopped into 50 pieces and was stuffed inside a refrigerator in her own house. This reminds us of Shraddha Walkar case in Delhi. Shraddha Walkar was a 28-year-old girl who was murdered by her own boyfriend, whose name was Aftab, and her body was cut into 35 pieces. Here, the lady named as Mahalakshmi, it is said that a person who was in friendship with her was murdered her, but the police have not concluded anything. Her estranged husband named as Hemant Das suspects the involvement of a barber who is from Uttarakhand who used to work in Nelamangala. It is said that he suspects that the barber was in an affair with Mahalakshmi. The husband, estranged husband, says, I got to know that she was in an affair with a man who is from Uttarakhand and working in a saloon in Nelamangala. And this Hemant Das also says that he came to know about this affair in April-May. And after that, Hemant Das, who owns a mobile accessory shop, has...
Ladies and gentlemen, the Modi government is in its third term, and many would look at the last 2 terms before the third term began earlier this year on what India has achieved as a country under the Modi regime. One term which has now become a catchphrase every time the Prime Minister goes out or every time a foreign leader, even the Russian president, speaks about it. Make in India has become synonymous with the India story. And I have a very special guest. And the reason why we are talking about this today is because we complete 10 years. 10 years of the Make in India push. I have Amitabh Kant, who's India's G20 Sherpa, and also the former CEO of Niti Aayog, joining us on the show this evening. He knows a thing or two about the Make in India project. He's been a key figure
in this movement. And Amitabh Kant, thank you for joining us. First of all, Make in India is not just a catchphrase anymore. I mean, I remember 10 to 15 years back, Mr. Kant, phones would be imported from China, right? Today we are exporting mobile phones. That's just one aspect of it. But you've seen the growth of the India story, the manufacturing aspect of it. Mr. Kant.
So, 10 years back, India was very complex, very difficult. And over the years, we built up a lot of rules, regulation, procedures, paperwork, acts, all of that. We were ranked 142 in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business. Even all countries, even Pakistan was way ahead of us. The first thing that Prime Minister Modi drove was that our focus should be on improving ease of doing business. He asked us to automate processes, to rationalize rules, digitize them. He said that all departmental procedures must be merged and streamlined and make the states compete on ease of doing business parameters. We started ranking states on ease of doing business. Over 1,600 old laws were abolished. This has not happened anywhere in the country. Second thing, he asked us to open up the foreign direct investment regime. So bureaucratic hurdles were done away with. The Foreign Investment Promotion Board was abolished. Case-to-case approvals were done away with. And the country is open to FDI, the foreign direct investment. Most sectors have been opened up to the automatic route without any government approval. We've opened up FDI in defense production, construction, railways, insurance. Many of the sectors have seen foreign investment thresholds rise up from 10% to 100%. We've allowed FDI to come in. In 2014, FDI stood at about 28 billion. Today, it is over 70 billion last year, and it peaked at 85 billion in 2022. The third thing that happened was that, the patent registration, that is innovation in India, was taking a lot of time. It used to take 7 years, 8 years. We came out with a national intellectual property right policy in 2016. We overhauled the IPR regime. The technical manpower in the patent office was increased 4 times. The average time taken for examination of a patent application was reduced from an average of 72 months to just 5 to 10 months. That has been the reduction, from 72 months to just 5 to 10 months. And the patent office has granted over 100,000 patents in financial year 24. You compare this to financial year 14, when we had just 38,000 patents. So we've jumped up from 38,000 to 100,000. And the trademark registry is fully, we are able to, the period of examination of trademark application has been reduced from 13 months to less than 30 days. All this has been done to drive investment, to drive manufacturing.